All right, everybody, come on in. We are live. It's time for live car Q&A. Come on in and tag a friend. Come on in and tag a friend. Don't just save money by yourself, but tell everybody you know, because people can't save money unless you point them to the things you know. And if you know me, then you are certainly somebody who's committed to saving money. So come on in, get your questions ready. We will be going live. I'm going live on several platforms, so give me a second to get TikTok going, get Instagram going, and to get Facebook going, and get your questions ready. We're taking questions from all. I see you, church boy. Good to see you. Let's go. See, I like when people are excited about saving money. I like when people are excited about their money, committed to protecting their money. Give me, as you come on in, give me ones in the chat if you are absolutely committed to saving and watching your money, because I am. Just starting my lease journey. Okay, I see you. I see you. We're gonna talk a lot about that. We'll be on here for about an hour. If you got 10 minutes to spend, well, you're up early. Start posting your questions while I get us up on these other platforms, and we'll go from there. All right, we're up on Instagram. We're up on Facebook. Come on in. I love when people are excited about their money, because here's the bad part. It's a couple people that are excited about taking your money. So we got to be as excited about learning how to protect our money as those people are about taking our money. Come on in. All right, so it looks like we're live on all platforms. Y'all can see we got TikTok, we got Instagram, we got YouTube, and we got Facebook. Come on in, tag a friend that you care about, because you don't want them to be mad at you when they find out that you've been using these strategies, saving all this money while they've been out here overpaying. All right. Okay. Everybody here, how's audio? Give me clear. Give me clear. The other day I was talking and it was one platform that couldn't hear me. So are we clear on all platforms? Audio's clear? All right. Thank you, Tikia. All right. Hold on. Okay. Housekeeping. Some of you know I'm an author. It's my second book. Both are 5 stars. Not available on Amazon. But while we're on this broadcast, my new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, you can get it for 75% off. It's in my TikTok bio. It's in my Instagram bio. And I'm going to put a banner up on here on YouTube and Facebook. You guys could go to deshonsbook.com. A couple people missed it. They were saying, Deshone, it shows $97. That means you missed it. Look, $97 is still going to be worth it, but $24 is even better, right? Comment $signs if you like $24 better than 97. Again, we care about every dollar. So while we're here, you'll see there's a 30-minute countdown, but start posting your questions. Start posting your questions and let's get busy. All right. So first, this one's from Facebook. Question: how does the credit being run multiple times for 30 days work? This is a good one, y'all. We call this the bank bidding war. Some of you may not know. I see y'all running the likes up on TikTok. Keep tapping the screen. Thank you. Some of you may not know that you can let a lot of people run your credit, but you got to do it right. It'll weigh on your credit as one hard inquiry, and you don't do it until after you find your car. Once you find your car, that's when you come home, you call your bank, or you go online to your bank, credit union. You go to some online banks like Lightstream, like Community Credit Union, anybody. You could literally Google bank auto loans online. The reason this doesn't work for most people is because those banks need you to have a car. And if you don't have a car, then they can't give you an offer. But at that point, you would have a car. Now, the way the window works is if you do this right, this will take you 2 days of having all these people run your credit, and it'll weigh on your credit as one hard inquiry, and you'll guarantee you got the best rate. Once you get the best rate from them, You call the dealer who has the car on hold for you, and you give them the rate. You say, hey, look, I got 6.99 from such and such. Now you let that dealer go to work and see if any of his or her 10 to 12 banks can beat that rate. Then you snatch your best rate. Works every time. Beautiful. All right, let's go. More questions. I'm going to try to get through as many as I can. This one's TikTok. Hold on. Wait, I don't see one on TikTok yet. Oh, that's because there's too many daggone people on here. Y'all crazy on TikTok. All right, hold on. Type your questions, TikTok. Let's go to Instagram. Hold on. Is that a picture of Lucille Ball? We talking about cars. Yes, it's a picture of Lucille Ball, though. Yes, it is. All right, hold on. Type your questions, y'all. I see people just want to tune in and hear other people. And here's what I'll tell y'all about these lives. Someone's going to ask the same question as you. So if you stay on long enough, you're going to say, oh, that's the same question I wanted to ask. All right, let's keep it going, though. After getting pre-approved from my local, type your question in one comment. We can't do continuations. All right, Omar, when you say you let the dealer go to work for the best rates, that means their lenders will run your credit too. That's absolutely right, Omar. Absolutely right. You can let all these people run your credit, and at the end of the window, when it closes, you'll see the effects of on your credit score is the same as one hard inquiry. That's called rate shopping. Okay, if you do it like I just told you to do it, every time it works. And not only that, you'll see how many the rates on these from these banks and credit unions are different. You need to guarantee you got the best one. That means you guaranteed you pay the least amount of interest. All right. I got my book. All right. Enjoy it. And make sure you send me your success story. Please make sure you tell me your. Hold on. I got to make this print bigger because I cannot see y'all on TikTok. Then in December and January, best time to buy a car? There's no best time to buy a car. Best time to buy a car is the worst time to buy a car is when you need one. But as long as you're getting multiple offers, that's okay. You might say, Deshone, I only got 3 days. You must learn, get multiple offers. Get multiple offers. But there is no best time. Here's why. What y'all have been, see, there's people who programmed you to think that there's a best time. Why? So they can load the dealerships up. Imagine having a business, right, where decades and decades of marketing trained your customers to come in at a certain time. Wouldn't that be a good business? Like imagine you own a pizza shop, and just the history of pizza shop teaches people, come on in at the end. You know, every month at the end of the month, you're getting a ton of customers. It's a marketing ploy. On top of that, dealers make the best deals when they're desperate. And that's not to say they're desperate like we're going out of business. That's to say, hey, I'm trying to hit my numbers, or hey, you know what, I haven't sold a car this week, or hey, there's nobody that came into the dealership today, or we've had a dead week. That typically happens first, second week of the month. So if you're trying to predict this and say, oh, I'm gonna wait for the end, some people say, oh, well, dealers are trying to make their numbers. Just so y'all know, it's not a magical thing. Every dealer doesn't wait till the end of the month to hit their numbers. It's marketing. So you take, like, out of all the dealers, everybody just magically doesn't hit their numbers until the last day of the month. No, it's not the way it works. It's marketing. And that dealer that gets your inquiry, gets your phone call, gets your email, and on the 12th of the month, and they look around and they see they haven't sold a car, oh, they want that. Listen, anything that we can do to sell a car, we're gonna do, because we are way behind. There's deals, the most dealers, they track to hit their numbers. They don't wait till the end. They can see, yo, we need to make sure we're doing enough deals on the 10th of the month to be tracking to hit our numbers. So that end of the month stuff, don't believe it. You might make your best deal on the 13th of the month. But always get multiple offers. That's how we guarantee the best deal. All right. Best time is right now. Let's get it. You shout out. All right, let's go. What's the best way to negotiate a trade-in? Great question. Don't trade. Here's the word that I want y'all to eliminate from your vocabulary. Okay? Trade. Let me ask y'all a question. When have you gotten the most money something was worth trading it? Honestly. When have you gotten the most money something is worth trading it? Never. Right? Like if you say, hey, I'll trade you my bike for your whatever, your lawnmower. Are you getting the most money you could get for the bike? No. Trade always means I'm leaving a little money on the table. So here's how you don't do that. You're going to do something I call an equity assessment. My book is called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. So if you hate car shopping, just type a H. We don't have to type the word hate, a lot of energy there. But we know it's people that hate car shopping. We ain't got to sugarcoat that. The book is called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealership. Now, this 7-step system is an A to Z, and it's a step-by-step, and it's a certain order. Now, step 2 is when we do the equity assessment. This is going to tell us if we have positive equity or negative equity. This is going to tell us if you have a lease. Be honest, who didn't know that you could sell a lease? Type a question mark. If you did not know that you could sell a lease, type a question mark. This is the equity assessment process. So it looks different depending on if you're leasing versus if you own. The equity assessment is where you call your bank and you find out your payoff. That's the amount you owe. Now, once you find out how much you owe, you're then going to go to the online buyers and get cash offers. These are people who pay the most for cars. Everything you're going to do from now on, if you do it my way, is going to be a bidding system. Bids make sure you never overpay. Bids make sure you pay the least no matter what. You get the lowest offer in the market. You're going to go to the online car buyers, CarMax, Driveway, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, not kellysbluebook.com. Because the benefit we have with cars is we can get cash offers. We don't depend on an algorithm to tell us what our car is worth, and then they send you into the dealership to try to fight for it. Here, Terrence, your car is worth $18,000. Now go fight for it. Bids. Terrence, your car, we're willing to pay you $18,200. Hey, CarMax, we're willing to pay you $19,100. That's a huge advantage we have with cars that we don't have with houses. So that's the start. That's what you want to do to start. If you're like Deshone, who has a car right now that they're thinking about getting out of, that you owe money on? If it's paid off, even better, because you could get all those offers. There's no loan. Whatever it's worth is cash in your pocket. But if you have a car now and you're thinking about getting out, okay, I see you, Kimberly. Here's what you do. The first thing you do is the equity assessment, because you need to find out what your position is in that car. Are you in a positive equity position or are you in a negative equity position? We can't do anything until we find out what we're going to do from there. Okay? So for all of you who just joined, or everything you're going to see, look, here's my philosophy, y'all. Y'all see I make these social media videos. Thank God. I appreciate y'all sharing, watching. We up to over 2 million followers. We got 1.5 million on TikTok. We up to 300,000. We just hit 300,000 yesterday on Facebook. We just hit 280,000 on Instagram, and we're like 140,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I can't see your DMs. The best thing for y'all to do is just watch my free videos. I don't hold back, or come to these lives. Or if you like Deshone, what's the quickest way I could get everything and I don't have to worry about wasting time? You could go get my new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, in my TikTok bio. You won't need a broadcast. Just click the picture of me, click that link, and for the next 30 minutes, it's 75% off. That's part of my launch. I didn't want to just launch it full price. We're launching 75% off. And you can type, if you go to goodreads.com, you'll see we're already rated 4.94. That's great. So, all right, let's go. Keep the questions coming. If I bought an extended warranty, this one's from TikTok. We're going to rotate through all the platforms, so just keep the questions coming. If I bought an extended warranty, does that come off my payoff amount if I don't use it? Great question. Some of you may have that question. Kenny bought an extended warranty. He's asking, will that come when he calls to find out how much he owes? Will that come off his payoff? Now, probably not if you built it into the loan. But here's what you can do. You can call the extended warranty company if you haven't filed the claim and if you haven't used it, then you can cancel it. They'll charge you a small cancellation fee, usually very small, and then you can get a refund for the unused portion. You could do that with extended warranties. You can do that with tire and wheel warranties, as long as you haven't filed a bunch of claims that have exceeded the value, the amount you paid. All right. So anything you haven't used, you are entitled to a prorated refund. Okay, let's go. Can I sell a finance vehicle? Great question, Teresa. That's a great question. This one's from Facebook. I used to have people when I was at this. Some of you know that I worked for Mercedes-Benz for 5 years. I worked with General Motors for 5 years. I would have people that would walk in and say, "All right, Deshone, is that the new one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the 20 whatever." He's like, "All right, I got 4 payments left, and then I'm coming in. I'm gonna get. I want to talk to you about that." That's a person who thought that they had to pay off their car before they could get a new one. You don't have to, y'all. You can actually replace your car. And here's what I want you to know. If you're in the business of changing cars and you're not keeping them 8 years, you're overspending because you're not shopping for aggressive lease deals. I know some of you that just sent a little, like, you got a little anxious there because you were taught for years. Be honest, who was taught never lease a car? Who was taught never lease a car? I'm the guy look, my favorite subject in school was math. I'm a math person. I don't get into the emotions. I've done the math, not to mention I've been in the business for 14 years. Leasing is for people who don't keep their cars 8 years. Here's why. Here's the value of your car. You see the way my arm is? That's the value of your car the first 6 to 7 years. It's going down. It's really like this. It's going down. But there's a point in time where you keep it long enough and it starts to go like this. Who has a car outside that they've had in their driveway for at least 9 or 10 years? In a car outside that you've had for at least 9 or 10 years. Who has? Okay, I see you, Helly. Okay, I see you, Beauty. Everybody who has a car outside that you've had in your driveway for at least 9 or 10 years. Look, essentially Yvonne said 13 years. Okay, 12 years, Tony. Okay, look, car I'm driving now, 16 years. All right, check this out. This is the depreciation curve. This is why those of you who are not keeping 8 years, you don't realize you're not a long-term person. That's short-term. And you're losing the most value in that period of time, but then it cools off. Y'all notice anybody who's had a car outside for 9, 10 years, the value of that car is about the same as it was a year ago, right? Value hasn't changed much, right? That's because you outlived the depreciation. That's where you want to get to when you're purchasing. Now, some of you are like, Deshone, I'm not keeping the car that long. Then you should be shopping for aggressive lease deals. If you're not, and when I say aggressive lease deals, ignore commercials. When you see Deshone, the car I want, it says I could lease, but I need all this money down. Nope. You could get any car with no money down. As long as you have the credit, and even some of you who credit is not perfect, you can get most cars with no money down. The only 2 people that can't get no money down cars is if your credit is too bad right now, or if you're trying to borrow too much. So you might have a lot of negative equity and you're trying to transfer it, the bank won't approve it because it blows out the loan to value. But you have to know, if you are not buying your cars to keep and outlive that depreciation, you've lost money. And I'm the person who's going to tell you it's time to stop. I don't care what you were taught. If you spend enough time with me, I'll prove it to you. But that's just the facts. We have people that are driving leases, and some people say, and then keep the questions coming. Some people say, oh, leasing is renting. That's ridiculous. Renting a car is hundreds of dollars per day in most cases. Leasing a car is pennies on the dollar compared to purchasing when you get a great lease deal. Like this is Greg. Greg, he used our system, 7 steps. He got a Kia SUV, $56,000 SUV, that would normally be about $1,200, that'd be about $1,100 a month. Every $5,000, y'all know, is about $100 a month. If you've seen my videos, if you've been on here, he's paying $567. I'm gonna put it up on here. If you're on YouTube, you can see this. If you're on Facebook, you can see this. This is Greg's lease. He's paying I'm sorry, I'm wrong, y'all. $527. So he got the $7,500 electric car rebate, plus he got a discount from the dealer, and he got it shopping online. What I'm telling y'all is, if you're not leasing and you're not keeping your cars 8 years, you're losing tons of money. And so let's stop it, okay? And any questions y'all want to ask me about that, feel free. But we gotta break this old bad advice that we've been listening to from people who don't know what they're talking about when it comes to cars. All right, let's go. What about a 650 score? Can I lease? Lucas, if you got a good profile, if you got a good, see, what I always say, y'all, it's not just about score, it's profile. If you have a paid car, if you have a car payment you've been paying and it's been on time the last 2 years, that's a real good indicator. Even if you have some things that are not perfect, the bank looks at, do they pay their car? And especially Mercedes. I remember when I was with Mercedes, we'd have people would call me and say, Deshone, my credit's not where it was when I leased my last Mercedes or when I got my last one. You think they'll approve me? I said, listen, how'd you pay the car? Oh, I never missed a payment. They're going to approve you. That's just the way Mercedes was. But many banks look at that. So even if you're not a 700, 750, 800, if you've paid your car on time the last couple years, you're usually good. And that's a profile thing, not just a score thing. Now, what I tell you all, go follow Shonda Martin, use her credit stuff, and get your credit score up, because she's just a genius. Shonda Martin, she's on all these platforms. Get your credit up. But if you're not ready to lease, then get ready to lease. If I couldn't qualify for a lease, the only thing I would be doing is trying to set myself up to qualify for a lease, because I'm not a long-term person. I appreciate it. Thanks for the gifts on TikTok. I appreciate everybody. All right, going to a dealer now. This one's from Facebook. We cycling all through questions. All right, and if you've visited that site and you saw that timer start for my book, this is the official release of my digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. Once that timer is at 0, it's 75% off for our launch. I wanted to make sure that I don't want any excuse. If you're like Deshone, I know what you sound like you know what you're talking about. I want everything you teach in one spot, step by step. Then go get the book for 75% off. It'll be in your inbox. And some people said, Deshone, do you print a book? I didn't want to print a book because things change too fast in this industry. I'm teaching y'all how to car shop from home, online, and stay in control. We're using specific websites. You're using specific scripts that I wrote. Anything that I change, if you bought a book from me, yeah, it'll work today. But then when your family member's ready to use it 6 months from now, something changes, and you're like, Deshone, this website doesn't work anymore. So with a digital book, I update that thing, and you'll have free updates. So anytime you open it, you can open it a year from now. It's going to be relevant. So you get updates with a digital book that I can't do with a print book. So go grab your copy. Let's keep the questions coming. Okay, Shonda Martin is the real deal. Yes, she is. Hold on. You got to type your questions all in one shot. We can't do broken up questions. Oh, I see your book. Thank you. Enjoy it. Hey, I'm just joining. Can you help personally lead? I don't know what that means. Type all your questions in a complete thing. Should I lease if I drive 20,000 miles per month? That's a great question. Super high mileage driving. Now, did you mean 20,000 per month, or did you mean 20,000 per year? Just type month or year so I could be clear before I answer this. 20,000 per month or 20,000 per year? Let me know, because this is a good question either way. Per month. Okay. No, you shouldn't. Anybody who's on here, if you're doing Uber, Lyft, or anything where the goal, the more successful you are, the more mileage you put on the car. Here's what I mean by that. If I did 20,000 miles this year, I might have did okay doing Uber. if I did 40,000 miles this year, I might, and now you might have a fleet of vehicles. You might be doing Toro. The thing is, the goal is the more mileage that's on that car, the better year we have. Does that make sense? Type a dollar sign if you understand. Then you don't want to lease because you can't predict the mileage. So what you want to do, here's what's very important for you to understand, y'all, because nobody loses money like you guys. Because you take 5 or 6 year loans, which give you a lower payment, but then you depreciate. Remember that look, so check this out. If that depreciation curve looks like this for most people on here, it goes down like this. Here's your depreciation curve, driving 20,000 a month, destroying the value of the vehicle very quickly. Now, here's what you can't do. You can't say, I'm going to destroy the value of the vehicle, but my loan is going to be the same length as a person who drives normal miles. What you end up doing is you come back to replace your car and you have $15,000 of negative equity. So what you've done from a business standpoint, you just pushed all your losses to the back. So during the months, it looks good. You're like, oh, had a good month. We're making money every month. But then when you go to replace the car, here comes all the losses. So what you do is you adjust your loan so that you have to ask yourself this. Everybody on here, you're going to start treating car buying with a little bit more longer view. See, that's why that depreciation curve, that 8-year outlook is going to be your anchor for leasing versus buying. If you are buying a car and you're going to put super high miles on it for a business, you got to ask yourself, when do I want to replace the car? So if you're doing 20,000 a month, you're talking 120,000 a year. You ask yourself, when am I going to replace it? You might say, I'm going to replace it in 2 years. You might say, I'm going to replace it in 3 years. That's what your loan should be. Whenever you say, I'm going to replace it, that's the loan you take. Now, yes, the monthly payment's a little bit higher, but here's what you're going to do. No negative equity. So don't be penny wise. It's called penny wise, dollar foolish. I'm going to make $150 extra per month, but then my negative equity is at the end. No, I'll pay the extra in a shorter loan. And then when I go and switch my cars, I got no baggage. In fact, even if my car has 300,000 miles, it's still worth a little something. So I might get $3,000. I could use that as a down payment, or I sell it, put it in my bank account. That's what you do. High mileage drivers, if you do that, and super high mileage, I'm not talking about people who drive 20,000, 30,000 per year. That brother said he drives 20,000 a month. When you're doing Uber, all of that stuff, you got to have a specific strategy, and that's the one. Use that. All right, let's keep it coming. Larry, new subscriber here. Welcome to the family. Appreciate you. How to understand the final paperwork. Those pink and yellow forms. It feels like the numbers be manipulated. Can make a line by line video. Any good advice on who to buy? Okay, ask one question at a time. If you've shopped from home, then those numbers where what I teach you is to shop from home. So the numbers that you're seeing should match what you've agreed to by email. When you're talking to a dealer, you're always asking them, and this is all in my book. Everything I teach you is in my book. You can have it in one spot. It's also in my free videos. If you want to look through 30, 40 videos and try to find the ones that work for you, do it. God bless you. But every number that you talked about with a person by phone or by email should match the contract. So, but if you're negotiating inside dealers, it's going to be hard for you to see. That's why, here's the rule of thumb, y'all. Never talk numbers inside a dealership. Y'all remember that? You never talk numbers inside a dealership. You figure out what you want. If you're shopping for a used car, you should be shopping online. You should know you have a deal before you ever visit that dealership. And if you are shopping for a brand new car or a lease, then you should know you have a deal before you ever visit that dealership. Okay? This is important. Let other people with no strategy waste their time. You move different. Okay? In order to do, if you want different results, you want to pay less than everyone, you have to move different than most people are moving. Okay? Let's go. Keep the questions coming in. Sorry, I wrote that wrong. Do you offer one-on-one help with leasing, or is everything in your book? Everything's in the book. You want to lease? It's in there. You want to sell your lease? I asked a couple minutes ago who didn't know they could sell a lease. A lot of you said, oh, I didn't know that. Some people said I didn't know I could sell a car if I still had, some people were taught, yo, you got to wait for that title to come in. No, you don't. And so some people say, Deshone, I figured out I should be leasing. Should I wait until I pay off my car and then switch to a lease? Nope, there's no benefit. You get out of that structure, get into a structure that works for you. And if you're not keeping your car 8 years, then you should be in a lease. As I said a little while ago, if you can't qualify for a lease, you should be setting yourself up to qualify for a lease. Because when you see these cars you drive, when you get good leases, you're going to be like, dag, I should have been doing this 10, 15 years ago. All right. Only if you're short term, if you're not keeping 8 years. All right, let's go. Keep them coming. Let's go to Instagram. Let's go. Keep typing your questions. Can you get a good deal without a down payment? Oh, good question. Type a $ if you like that question. She said, can you get a good deal without a down payment? 100%. In fact, I would tell you guys that when they work your deals for you, they're actually adding a down payment so that you can't really focus on the price you're paying for the car. That's what they're doing in most cases. That's why everything you'll learn from me is you always shop your offers with no money down. You can put money down, but in order for you to clearly see what someone's offering you, you have to see it with no money down. See, when you put 10 grand down, it mixes things up. You're not really focused on what you paid for the car. How much discount did you give me? You're not focused on that. From now on, what you're going to do is you're going to shop every offer, whether you're purchasing, leasing, it's all going to start with no money down. And here's what we decide. Once we get our deals and we look at them and we say, okay, I shopped all my offers. I'm picking this one. This is the best. Y'all going to learn that I teach a bidding system. This is how you get great deals if you're not a good negotiator. Be honest. Who's not a good negotiator on here? You just be honest. You don't like confrontation. Maybe you're an introvert. Maybe you're just like, it's just not my thing. If you are not a good negotiator, what I'm about to tell you is going to be what empowers you. Okay. So lots of you, not a good negotiator. When you start making people negotiate with each other, which is called a bid, you don't have to be. You're going to save more money than those who are going in to negotiate. I'll give you an example. When you walk into the grocery store, you say, I need some spaghetti sauce. How many brands are competing? Lots of them, right? If you wanted to buy a TV, I guarantee I could tell any of you on here, hey, I need an 80-inch TV. Nobody on here is going to overpay. Why? Because you already know what you're going to do. I'm going to look at this website. I'm going to look at this website. Nobody on here is going to walk into one store and say, all right, what's your price on an 80-inch TV? $1,500. What? Come on. Could you do 13? This is at $1,500. That sounds kind of high. No. We do the same thing with cars. We sit at home. We get multiple offers. People bid. And when people bid, this is how you get the best deals when you're a horrible negotiator. You'll be sitting at home, these people don't even know, but you're seeing so many offers and these dealers are actually competing with each other. So we get off everything. That's how we get everything. That's how we do it for our loans. We talked about the bank bidding war earlier. We do it with a car we buy and we do it with a car we sell. When we sell our leases, always a bid, always get multiple offers. Okay? That is what I teach. This isn't like, oh, I hope this will work. That's like saying, oh, I hope looking online for that 80-inch TV will work. No, it's just what they programmed you to do is walk into one store, they programmed you to walk into, Schneider Electric, who sells TVs, and say, hey, you got an 80-inch? All right, 50, and go back and forth with Schneider. No, you come home and you look at all the people who have 80 inches and you're like, so y'all see what I'm saying? It's the way you've been taught, and the way they taught you benefited them. If I could keep you just talking to me, hey, no, don't go. How many people you felt it, right? The dealer doesn't want to let you leave. You're like, hey, you know what? Let me go think about. Hey, listen, what can I do? What if I take off this? What if I take off? What the goal is don't leave. Because the worst thing that I can let you do is look at some other prices. And then you're going to realize how overpriced I was. So that's what it is. That's my side. And the 7 steps I teach in my digital book, that's what it's all about. Mastering the science of shopping multiple offers. Works for everybody. Look, I'm a couponer. I never pay regular price. I like saving money. Listen, anybody who likes saving money, me and you are going to get along. You know. So yes, every deal. This goes back to the question: could you get a good deal without a down payment? You are shopping all your offers with no money down, and then here's what down payment is, y'all. Payment management. This is all in my book. If you want it at 75% off, it's only 75% off for 30 minutes. Once that timer goes down, you click the website in my TikTok bio, you'll see that timer. If it goes down to 0, it's $97. Listen, if you care about your money, 24 is better than 97. So that's what down payments are. Payment management. They don't get you a deal. So when you look at your payment and you like, man, this person really is giving me a great deal on this car. They took off a lot of money. They beat everybody else, but the payment's a little higher than I like. That's when we apply down payments. That's the only purpose. That's it. So when you say get good lease offers with first month's payment, taxes and fees included, are those totals? This one's from YouTube. Are those totals or are those fees spread over the life of the lease? So we always get our lease offers with only first month's payment. And here's the thing. There's a word that I want y'all to, another word. It's a couple words that we're going to, who remembers the first word that we're eliminating? Let's see who was with us from the beginning of the broadcast. And then y'all could actually tell the people who didn't get, who remembers the first word we eliminate from our vocabulary? I don't want y'all to use it ever again. We talked about this early in the live today. Oh, Miss Lady T, click that picture of me, and then you'll see a website there. Go to that. That's my website. You'll see a button that says get my new book, 75% off. Click that. You can grab the book, and you won't leave the broadcast. Instagram, you will leave the broadcast for 2 minutes, 3 minutes while you get the book, but then come on back and, we can. Yes, you got it, Spiceberg. Trade. Spice Beige, my fault. Send me a DM. I like that you're paying attention. Send me a DM here on TikTok. I'm going to give you a free copy. I'm going to give you a free copy because you're locked in. And I just love people that are locked in. So send me a DM. And matter of fact, Miss Lady JJ, she actually said it before you. Both of y'all, send me a DM. I'll give you both a copy. Trade, because we get bids. You can't trade a car and get bids. So the second word we're going to eliminate from our vocabulary is down payment, money down. We're going to start using terms like total out of pocket. Here's why. Who's ever told a dealer, I want to put $2,000 down or $1,000 down. And then when you go in to do the paperwork, or when you later on, they ask you about, well, what about the taxes? Are you going to pay those up front? Yada, yada. And sometimes they'll let you go all into the finance office. You think, all right, we got the deal done. It's $2,000 down, $470 a month. And you're walking into the finance office and then they're like, okay, so how are you going to pay the taxes? Right? That is because our language wasn't clear enough. When we want to start using the term total out of pocket. So when we're shopping for our leases, we are always telling the dealer, first month's total out of pocket. That's how you give me the offer. And then all the taxes, all the fees, you put that into the monthly payment. Then I could judge the lease offer. I'm going to see, is it a 1% lease, which is a steal? You're not going to get a 1% lease usually without bids. So, you're not going to get the best price without bids. But if it's a 1% lease, it's a steal. That means your monthly payment is 1% of the MSRP or less. If it's between 1% and 1.5, that's a good deal. That's great value. You're paying pennies on it. You're driving cars for thousands less than people who are buying them. You got a quality deal. Great deal. Get it up out of there. If it's over 1.5%, we say no to those. That's a bad lease program. There are some bad lease programs, and there's people. See, you know who bad lease programs were made for? When the dealer calls Mr. Johnson, who's so loyal, he doesn't realize the money that he's paying. Hey, Mr. Johnson, come on. Hey, it's Charlie over here at such and such, Subaru. Listen, Mr. Johnson, I can get you out of your lease early. Who has dealers saying, hey, call, I'll get you out of your lease early? Just how those conversations go sometimes. Thing about it is, the payment goes up a little bit, but they do this a lot with luxury vehicles because they cater to ego. Come on, you've been driving this car for how many Subarus have you had? 5? I mean, you can't, you can't switch. That's what they're basically saying. All through the pandemic, those were the calls you were getting. Payment went up $150, $200, $300, but come on, you always drove a Mercedes. So they didn't realize that the price I'm paying for my lease is too much. Which means, how do we know it's too much, Deshone? You know it's too much because you're paying too much for a car you're giving back to them in 3 years. When you add up all the payments, you'll see, Dad, the car was $40,000. I paid $27,000. You paid too much for a vehicle you're giving back, which eliminated the benefit of leasing. So that's how we do it. First month's payment, total out of pocket, and all the fees go into the lease. That's how we get our lease offers. All right, my question is too long to put in the comment section. Go over to YouTube. If you got YouTube, type in Deshone the Auto Advisor, join the live over here, or Facebook. You can type longer questions. All right, let's go. So that one was from Instagram. Let's keep the questions coming. What about luxury brands? Which is a good percentage? Doesn't change. Doesn't change. I don't care if you're buying exotic Ferrari, percentages don't change. That's the good thing about principles, percentages, boundaries. These things are rules. Doesn't matter. You can put a Bentley in there. Look, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, or if you're watching this rebroadcast, look, I'll show you Kimberly. Kimberly got a Maserati. She saved $20,000. She got a lease. Her lease, just to give you what her lease deal is, her Maserati was $91,761. That was the MSRP. Look, down payment, and this is in our private Facebook group because not only do I have the book, but I have a video library, and then I coach a couple people who got the video library. Well, look, $91,761. Look, down payment, first month only, $944. So she's driving a $91,000 vehicle for $944. That vehicle normally, there are people who have that exact same car she's driving and they're paying every $5,000 is $100 a month. They're paying $1,800 for it. So this is, I forgot how I asked. I forgot what question I was in. I know that was the answer, but I just forgot. It's so many questions popping up. That was the, yes, it was about what about luxury brands. So that was the point. Doesn't matter. The principles that I'm teaching you are going to apply no matter what. You're buying, leasing, buying a used car, buying a new car, high mileage driver. You just want to move with strategy, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, let's go back to, let's go. We're cycling through all the platforms. So we're on 4 platforms. So keep the questions coming, and we're going to get through as many of them as we possibly can. Let me put this banner back up for those of you who want your 75% off. Some of you like Deshone, I love the live, but I want everything in one spot. Let me get this book. All right, hold on. Let me put my banner. Let me get rid of the comment. Okay, is there a difference between a personal loan and an auto loan? Definitely. Yeah, the terms are usually different. A personal loan is usually going to come with a higher interest rate than an auto loan in most cases. Not all, but in most cases. For Facebook viewers, how do we pay for the book? Let me put a comment here for you. Let me know if y'all can click this, because sometimes Facebook does have issues seeing it. Let me know if y'all can click that link right here that says Deshone's book. I just posted the comment. Let me know if y'all can see that. I don't know why it just went to TikTok. Let me post it here to it just went to YouTube. See if you can click that link that says Deshone's book. If you can, give me the clearance that y'all can. Okay, just purchased the book. I'm ready to learn. Thank you, Adrian. Enjoy it, use it, and please report to me your success stories. All right, it's in there. It's everything you need step by step. Okay, how do you trade in? I have a 2016 Versa. I'm trying to trade it in, zero down. What do you suggest? Okay, so 2016, if you're going to keep your next car 8 years, we talked about that earlier, you need to outlive depreciation you're purchasing. If you're not keeping 8 years, then you should be shopping for an aggressive lease. Now, all you're going to do, first thing we do when we want to replace our car is equity assessment. Equity assessment. Find out what you owe, call your bank, get your payoff, and then go to the online car buyers. CarMax, Driveway, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Carvana, AutoNation Sell My Car, Car Guru Sell My Car. That's a bid. That's 6 offers. As more companies come out, we'll add them to the bid. But the more, the better. That's 6 offers. You get it in about 20, 25 minutes. That's going to tell you your equity position. That's the first thing you do. Once you know your equity position, you know whether, am I making money selling my car, or do I have negative equity? That's the first step. Well, actually, the first step is, how many years are you going to keep the next car? The first step is always the leasing versus buying decision, because that's the foundation. First step is always leasing versus buying. If you get my book, everything you'll see, when you get to step 1, you'll see the most important question. That's where we start out. How many years are you keeping the next car? Because because what you're going to learn is, I have to plan for depreciation. If I'm keeping my car long enough to outlive depreciation, be like the people we talked about earlier who said, man, I had my car 16 years, I had my car 12 years, 10 years, they have outlived depreciation. It's not about payment. It's not about, is my car paid off? I paid cash for my cars. That's not about that. Your expense you don't see is the one you have to plan for, depreciation. So once you outlive depreciation, that if your goal is to outlive that 8, 10, 12 years, that's when we purchase. So that's the most important question. That's the first question. After you answer that question, then you move to the equity assessment if you have a car to replace. Okay? You got to do the equity assessment, because that's going to determine your next move. If you got a bunch of negative equity, then you have to move accordingly. I have that in my book. Some of you are going to have negative equity because you've been buying cars when you should have been leasing. So we have to deal with that. If you have a little bit of negative equity, that we have to deal with that. If you have positive equity, well, that either is going to go in your bank account, or it could go towards your next car purchase. So we must do equity assessment before anything. Leasing is much cheaper than buying. When you know how to get great leases, Smokey, you're absolutely right. And he said, I'll never buy a car again. Leasing, when you know how to get great lease deals, because some people, look, that's why I had to create the 1.5% rule, because there was no rule for when people were overpaying for their lease deal. Which I don't even like to, I don't like to use the word overpaying and deal in the same sentence, because it's not a deal. So, but when I created the 1.5% rule, a lot of people realized that they didn't get a good lease deal. But if you know how to get a good one, which is what I'm teaching, multiple offers, bids, there's no, when you see what you drive for what you pay, it's hard to do anything else. But again, if you're keeping your cars 8, 10, 12 years, then you should not be looking to lease. You should be shopping for your most aggressive purchase. Okay, the link worked on Facebook. Got the book. Congratulations, Tony. Enjoy it, use it, and please. And also, you'll see we're already almost 5. I hate to say we're almost 5 stars. Nobody's gonna. I don't think you can get a lot of reviews and be all the way 5 stars. But we so far we've gotten 31 rating. We're 4.94 on Goodreads.com. So I'm very grateful for those of you who have rated the book, reviewed the book. I'm very grateful for that. All right, let's keep it going. This one's YouTube. I'm going to wait to purchase your book, but I appreciate these live videos. They're helping me. Do what you feel is best. It's $24. Well, listen, you do what you feel is best. What about the mile restriction on the lease if you drive a lot? How do you shop for leases on that scene? So if you drive a lot, here's what you do. You always shop your offers with 12,000 miles per year. Now, some of you may have been taught they limit you on lease mileage. Who was told that, oh, you could only get 10,000 miles per year on a lease? That wasn't true. More bad information. You choose your mileage on a lease. You choose your mileage on a lease. So if you're driving 15,000 miles per year, that is what you're going to get. You do not sign. If you want to, when you see people that don't like leasing, it's usually for one or two reasons. They picked the wrong mileage, or they were very, very hard on their car and surprised when they got a bill. See, because another myth that they told you is when you lease, it has to be perfect. And I want to get some questions in here about used cars. We ask some questions about purchasing. It's just leasing why are people so interested in leasing? Because it's the subject that they have known the least about. So that's the reason why we get on these lives, and there's so many questions about leasing because it's been an unknown subject for so long and so much bad information. But when you're choosing your mileage, you always want to shop your offers with 12,000 miles per year so that you can judge the offers. But then when you find the dealer that wins the bid, they beat everybody else, then you adjust the mileage with them one-on-one. You tell them, I'm ready to do business with you. Can you adjust the lease to a 15,000 mile a year lease? Can you adjust it to 18,000 and show me what it is? Because at that point, you've gotten the biggest discount from them, and you can trust them when they adjust the mileage. They're not going to blow the deal because they've already worked hard to beat their competition. So then you adjust the mileage, and you'll see what it is. So that's how you do. Shop with 12, identify the winning dealer, and then have them adjust the mileage to what you need. And some of you may adjust down. You might go to 10, like you saw Kimberly. Her lease was 10,000 on hers. Some of you have you might want to do a low mileage lease, 7,500. Not everyone offers 7,500, but some brands do. But you always shop with 12. Why do they want to raise your payment according to the mileage? Victoria, because you're depreciating the car more. Listen, with a car, you're paying for depreciation. If you own the car and you drove it, all right, let's say you own a car, you sit it in your driveway for a year. Is it worth what it's worth today, a year from now? Even if you don't drive it. You don't drive it 1 mile. Is it worth what it's worth today, a year from now? No. Now, let's say you drive it 10,000 miles. It's worth less, right? It's worth less if you drive it 10,000 miles. Let's say you drive it 20,000 miles. It's worth less, right? But you own it. Doesn't matter. See what I'm saying? The lies that have been taught to you is you don't pay for your mileage because you own your car. That information is garbage. Not only is that information garbage, it's expensive. That's expensive information that you've been taught to believe. So when you lease, you pay for your mileage. When you own, you pay for your mileage. But for the short-term person who's not keeping their car 8 years, shopping for an aggressive lease deal is a hedge against depreciation. You're going to pay less for the mileage with an aggressive lease deal than you will as an owner. That's it. It's beautiful. And when you get this and start putting it into action, you're going to see. And then the first thing you're going to want to do is tell your family, tell your friend. Somebody on the live earlier was like, listen, I had a conversation with my family. They started barking at me when I started talking, but when I showed them the numbers, it was just like, because you can't deny it. You saw what Kimberly's paying. Look. You saw what Greg was paying for his car. Look at Tope. Tope got a $54,000 BMW electric, $690 a month. $54,000 BMW. People are paying every 5,000 is $100 a month. People paying 1,000, $1,100 for that same vehicle. She's paying $690. She got rid of the bad information. See what I'm saying? This is all in my book. If y'all like this, man, Deshone, I just want everything you teach one spot, man. I'm ready. I want to move with this information for the rest of my life. Now the book's always going to be out, but it's a digital book. It's $97. That's the price. And I've sold a lot of them at $97. But when we got together and said, you know what, we're going to do an official launch. We're going to start really, really talking to people. Because from the day we came and started with this special, we already had a lot of reviews on Goodreads. So there was tons of people who in that first group who have been using this book and reviewing it. But our goal now is to say, all right, how can we help lots of people get this information? All right, we'll do a 75% off special for 30 minutes. Once that timer goes to 0, then it's back up to 97, which is still a great price. I'm not going to sit here and I wouldn't price the book at $200, $300, $400 because then my goal is not to help a lot of people. But $97, 100% fair price. $24, even better. So go get your 75% off as long as the timer isn't out. Let's go. Keep the questions coming. Elle said, hold on, let me get back to my screen. Let me put Tope's deal down. Hold on. Comments. Real topic. I got the book. It's amazing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Queen, the book is in. You can go to I posted the link. It's deshonesbook.com. Just look for that comment and just click on deshonesbook.com. It'll take you right there. You can get your copy. Okay. This one's Facebook. We're still taking questions from all the platforms. We'll probably go to Instagram next. My insurance company will, hold on, let me put here. Some of you may be watching on the TV. You could actually scan that QR code with your phone and you could get your 75% off your copy. All right, let me get back here. Elle said, I think it's Ellie. Yep, my insurance company will ask me my mileage when I renew my insurance policy, and payment increases based on mileage that I drove, 100%. You pay for usage, doesn't matter. So the whole goal with a long-term purchase is I don't care about depreciation. Long-term. Some of you who got those cars outside and they've been out there for 8 years or 10 years or 12 years or longer, we have somebody 16 years, depreciation doesn't matter. You've won. I won. Depreciation was year 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now that car is going to be worth about the same thing year by year. That's how you win, long-term buyer. But in the short term, you short-term buyers who are not getting to that 8-year mark, you're overpaying by not leasing because the depreciation is killing you. It's killing the value of the car you're purchasing, and then you go to trade out of it. All right, after pre-approval from different websites, what do I do from there? We don't do pre-approvals with a hard inquiry. We always do soft credit pre-approvals. We don't want to do hard credit we don't want to do hard inquiry pre-approvals because then we can't make these banks bid the way we want. Or you could, but you got to find your car in a hurry. Because when you do the hard credit pull, here's what happens. They give you a pre-approval, but it has an expiration date. I don't like pressure when I'm shopping for a car. I have people who are shopping. I was talking to somebody earlier on our coaching call. She's like, I'm retired. I teach you how to look at the market. When you have time is your friend. If some of you are like, Deshone, you know what? I got 2, 3, 4 months before I need a car. That is an asset. I can help you. If you need a car in a week, I have to be able to give you the strategy to make sure you don't overpay. If I needed a car in a week, I get bids, make sure I don't overpay. But when you have the luxury of time, you can actually watch the market because the lease deals change every month. The trends on used cars, for those who are shopping for used cars, prices change every month. The trends change. You can see if the prices are going down. You can see the dealers who have been. Time is your friend. Rebates change every month. And so I don't like a pre-approval that says, hey, you got to find a car by this date. And if I don't find a car by this date, now I got to come back and do another hard inquiry, which is going to drop my credit score more. We don't want that. So we don't do a hard inquiry until after we found our car. Once we find our car, we get a purchase order. We leave a deposit to lock up the car. It's refundable. We always make sure when you leave a deposit, you always have the deposit, very important verbiage on the buyer's order, deposit refundable if car is not delivered. This replay will be on YouTube if you want to see the replay. Or you can get the book and you won't need a replay. But you put that on and then you come home and you let your bank, your credit union, all the online banks, you type in online car loan, anybody in your area, you let all these people access your credit. That's when you do the hard pull, because you started the bidding process. I call this the bank bidding war. Now you're going to let all those people run your credit. It's going to show as one hard inquiry at the end of the window. But here's what you do. When whoever wins that round of the bids, you then call the dealer and you want them to have a shot. Hey, the best rate I got so far was 6.29. But if you guys can beat it, I'll do the deal with you. See, that's how you get around the dealers who don't want to sell you a car if you're not going to give them a chance at the rate business. We give them a chance, because the best thing to have is a dealer, a finance manager they've already won your bid to sell you the car, but now he's calling 5 or 6 or 10. Some of these dealerships have 10 to 15 banks, and they're calling them to try to beat the rate you got. See, they can't come back to you. If you told them I got 6.29, they're not calling you back and saying, all right, I got you 8%. They're going to call you and say one of two things. Hey, listen, I tried my best. I looked at all my banks. I can't beat that rate. You got a good rate. So, just, go with your bank and then, let's schedule the delivery. That's one option, one outcome. Or they're going to say, hey, good news. I got you. I beat the rate. I got this bank to beat the rate. So I could do all the paperwork here for you. In which case, they just saved you money. So you've guaranteed. Y'all know what we call this. Who knows what we call the process of guaranteeing we paid the lowest? Let me see. It's a couple people that might have been on here on a couple of live streams. I know we got a lot of new people, but who knows what we call the process of guaranteeing that we got the lowest price? Price assurance. Price assurance. When you buy a TV, you want price assurance. That means there's no chance in heaven that this TV was less money somewhere else. Price assurance. All right? That's the bank bidding war. That's how we do it. So that's your answer, babyface. Whether you got the pre-approval or not, that's the process of how you're going to end up choosing who gives you your loan and who you go with for your loan. Okay? All right. Let's keep them coming. 1.5% rule. You got to type a whole question. You can't type like a incomplete phrase. All right, how do you get 75% off? I go to the site and it's still showing $97. That means you missed the countdown. Sydney. All right, listen. I love the commitment, everybody. I'm gonna put a special link here. And I had to create this because this was happening a lot. And I know it's people on here that's like, man, I want the book and I want it at the 75%. So I created this emergency link. All right, I'm posting it here. If you missed the countdown, go to that link. 10 minutes. You'll see there's a countdown there. Like, don't miss it again. All right, Adrian, when you get your book, you see a support email, just email support or DM me. Because usually what happens is a letter in the email was just typed incorrectly. You see the countdown, sometimes you're typing fast. We deliver lots of these books. So if it's not in your, make sure you check your spam though. Check your spam as well. Okay, do you offer service where you do all the shopping? I don't, because it's not necessary. It's not necessary. I'd rather teach you to fish. Anybody shopping for you does not help you at all, because you don't understand. You don't know if you got the best offer. You're just putting a 30 to 50 to $100,000 transaction in someone else's hands because you're a little nervous. You could be nervous, but that's not financially wise to do. So even with me, all right, what I'm teaching you is a process where you sit at home and you're in control. It's not like, oh, I hope this will work. That's like saying, oh, I hope going into I don't want to overpay for the spaghetti sauce. All right, go into the supermarket, look at 7 brands of spaghetti sauce. You ain't gonna overpay for it. I don't want to overpay for I got to get an 80-inch TV. I'm so worried I'm gonna overpay for it. You look at enough 80-inch TVs all over the internet, you're gonna guarantee you don't overpay for it. So what we teach is the same process. Multiple offers online, you can't mess it up. You can't mess it up. The book link, if you're on TikTok, is just click that picture of me and you'll see a website there, carsfromhometoolkit. Click that website. And then when you go there, there's a button that says get the book 75% off. And you won't leave the broadcast if you're on TikTok. You'll actually still hear the broadcast. All right. Let's see. Come on, keep them coming. This is a great group. I love the questions. And let's go. What about test driving cars? Good question. This one's on YouTube. So test driving cars is different depending on if you're shopping for a new car or a pre-owned car. If you're shopping for a new car or a lease, we're always test driving the car before we get offers on it. Always. Because we need to see if we like it. We're test driving in a way where no one's pressuring us, because here's a rule that you don't break. You don't talk numbers in the dealership. You do not talk numbers in the dealership at all. If you're talking numbers in the dealership, you could just give yourself a signal. I'm not following Sean's way. And you're a grown person. So, but I want you to have these boundaries so that you know, okay, wait, I'm going back to the old way. Now, what am I doing here? You're just here to test drive. And then once you decide, you know what, we like this vehicle. I like you to, if you're leasing, find 2 to 3 that you like, because we don't know what the lease program is going to be. And what you'll find is if you get out there, see, this is such a fun process when you do it my way, because none of these people, y'all, they've kind of made you scared to go in and test drive. But when you know you're not talking numbers, you're going to enjoy it. So you go in, you test drive, you get out of there in 20 minutes. In fact, in my book, I have a section in step 4. I call it shopping, not buying, where I give you the script. There's a particular way I like you to set up the test drive. I like you to call the dealership, ask for the person who's been there the longest, ask for the person that everybody loves, set up the test drive with them. Because if you get that new salesman who's new on the block or he doesn't care about people, he'll tell you, all right, I'll have a car, I'll meet you here. You'll get there and then there's no car ready for you. Oh, the car's sold. Let me show you something else. So you want to, who you talk to is important when you're setting up your test drive. But that's what you do for a new car. Used car, it's different. Used car, we're shopping online, and the test drive is the last part. Because it does you no good to go test drive a car and then go, you're not getting that car. Yeah, I could go drive one used Honda, but then the one that ends up being the best deal, it may not drive the same. So we don't test drive a used car. That's our last step before we shake their hand. So like my used Infiniti. I got an Infiniti truck about a year ago, shopped online, found the best one with the biggest discount, and the biggest discount off the brand new price. Hint, hint, clue, clue. When you are shopping for a used car, you're not searching for the biggest discount from the dealer. You're searching for the used car that gives you the biggest discount from the original price when it was new. Type $, because I'm going to say that again. And then I'll tell you all about how I got this Infiniti and the process of the test drive. The dealer discounting is secondary to you actually finding out what the brand new price was and finding out how much discount you're getting from the brand new price. If a car was $42,000, this is how many people got in trouble all through the pandemic. because they were paying prices for used cars that were so close to the new car price. If they had just been taught to look at the new car price, how much was this car when it was new? 32,000. Okay, how are you charging me 31? So how you know a great discount on a used car is that discount. Okay. Also in my book, everything you're going to hear me teach, that's not going to change. I call that the true value percentage. True value percentage, TVP. It's the percentage off based on the original new car price versus what you're offering me. So once I did that, I saw which one, outside of looking at the title, looking at the service records, looking at the accidents. Once I saw the biggest discount off the new, I went there, test drove it, shook the hand. I asked him, hey, could you do another $800 or $1,000 off? He said, listen, look, I could do another 500. Shook his hand, locked it up. Price assurance. Because if I had picked the other Infinity, here's the kicker. The other Infinity, I narrowed it down to top 4, but the others were, the brand new price was 46, brand new price was 48, brand new price was 52. This one that I got, brand new price was 54,500. And when I did the discount, it was a 42% discount. The other ones were a lower discount. So although the price on those other ones might seem lower, it wasn't as much discount. So it wasn't as good of a deal. See, market value, throw that out the window. We don't care about market value. When you're shopping for a used car, that's what you care about. True value percentage. All right? But that's how we test drive, depending on whether buying a new car or leasing a new car or buying a used car. All right? Great question. Great question. All right. Will we be a car expert after reading your book? Yeah. In the beginning, my first book, I wrote a lot. It was more of my first book was called The 52 Car Buying Questions Smart People Don't Ask. I wrote that in July 2021. That book is still rated 5 stars on Goodreads.com. The reason why I changed it is because it wasn't step by step. It was very much. You said that was deep, bro. Listen, I preach. This is listen. I've 2006. I got in the car business. So I could do this stuff in my sleep. So anybody that's willing to listen, anybody who's willing to take what I'm telling them, I hold myself accountable to making sure you win. So see, I can't read comments and talk. What was I talking about? Sometimes I'll be in the middle of a sentence, I'll look up at a comment and it'll throw me off. What was I just talking about? Somebody tell me. Hold on. Hold on. Anybody? I was talking about the book. Oh, thank you. Yep, thank you. Yes. So yeah, it wasn't step by step. So somebody asked if we use your book, will we be a car expert? That was the goal of the first book. I was trying to turn people into me. I wanted you to know everything I know. I had stuff about the banks and the different ways things are set up. And again, if you type in the 52 Car Buying Quest, it's not available anymore, you'll see that book was rated 5 stars. People loved it. People used it. But I said to myself, I could put a better book out there because I don't want you to be me. Look, you're not interested in being me. Here's what you're interested in. Deshone, teach me how to get the deals you get. I don't need to know everything you know. I don't need the 14 years of experience. What I need to know is, how do I get the same deal you would get? And that's when I said, okay, we got to go step by step. And then we got to cut out all the extra education and we're going to learn by doing. I'm not going to teach you. And I said to myself, what would I tell you if you called me and said, Deshone, I need a car. What's my first step? Boom, I would ask you this question. And based on your answer, we go to the next step. And I just did that through the book because I was doing that for years. When I sold cars from Mercedes, I used to tell my friends, call me, because I was worried about them. Like my first friend that I saw that got a crazy, horrible deal, right? I said, why didn't you call me? He said, well, that was when I worked for GM, quite honestly. I saw a couple of people getting bad deals, but they thought because I sold General Motors, yeah, Deshone, I want to buy. And it happened more with Mercedes. It happened a whole lot more. I started getting less calls from my friends because they're like, D, man, I know you with Mercedes, man. I didn't want to bother you with my thing, man. I was just looking for a Nissan. I'm like, no, this is bad. So I started saying, listen, anytime, just call me, please. So I would be walking them, coaching them, and everything that I would do, I just put in the second book. That's why it became step by step by step and less about a bunch of education. It just like, Deshone, just tell me what to do. I don't need to know the education of why I'm doing this. Leasing versus buying, I do have an educational video in the book that you link to, and it educates you on leasing versus buying. But the rest is just do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Take the guesswork out. So great question, though. I'm glad you asked that. So for everybody that just jumped on, people who are asking about the book, it's my new digital book. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's 75% off as part of our not grand opening, our book launch, and 75% off for 30 minutes. So if you go to my TikTok bio, if you want to get it, it's normally $97, but you can get it. It'll be in your inbox in 2 or 3 minutes. Go to my TikTok bio, click that picture of me, and you'll see a website there. Click it, and then click the button that says get my book for 75% off. Okay, it's everything I teach you. Now, here's the thing. I'm not holding back. Y'all been on here long enough with me to know this guy is not holding back. You ain't asking me a question, and then I'm like, well, if you want to know, get the book. Like that's not how I do. But I just know that some of you are like, I want everything in one spot so that I can reference it. For those of you that's you, go to my Instagram bio, get your copy, go to Deshone's book, or you can scan the QR code, deshonsbook.com, or scan the QR code. All right, it's so many people still on here. We can keep this thing going for a little bit longer because it's just a lot of y'all on here right now. So let's go. Where's the special link for the 75% off? In my TikTok bio. Let's go. Hold on. I go to Instagram. We haven't done one with Instagram in a while. Instagram, y'all looking for a 2018 Escalade. I think they were 78,000. You want to look at that. You don't know if that one's overpriced. Don't fall in love with one used car. Do not fall in love with one used car ever. The only way you know that a used car is great is when you saw the whole market. I look at least 100 miles because how often do we buy a car? Every how many years, y'all? Every how many years, you fill in the blank, do we buy a car? Charlotte, just DM me, okay? I'll look for you specifically. I can't see DMs because we just hit 2 million followers across all these platforms. But if I know because I don't want to put the support email here. Support emails for people who got the book and you maybe, it's not in your email, it's not in your spam, because usually one letter was off in the email. So just DM me. All right, so you're buying a car. Look at these numbers, y'all. Every 4 years, every 7 years, every 5 years, every 9 years. The reason why you are hold on 1 second. No. Okay, my fault. My fault. All right. I forgot what question I was answering. Like, I'm so busy looking at all these platforms. Y'all just gotta help me out because I'm literally going off the top, and I'll literally look at a question on Instagram, start talking about it. I can't look at the screens and answer the question. So as the new people come on, if you see me answering a question, just wait until I finish that answer, then post your question. Because if I look at it, especially we're an hour and 20 minutes in. So hour and 20 minutes in. We'll go for another 10 minutes because y'all can see this is what happens to me. All right, I'm showing full price. Just DM me. DM me. I can't send you a link. I can't post it to TikTok in the comments. But DM me. If you missed the countdown, it's showing a $97 price. DM me and I'll send you this emergency link that I posted to Facebook and TikTok. All right, let's go. How often do we buy a car? Yep, that was the question, but I asked that question for a reason based off a question someone else had asked. Yeah, I asked that question for a reason. I usually look at getting rid of a car after 225,000 miles. There you go. Use it up. Use it up. Use it up. Is Skoda Kodiaq Sportline a good family car? That's a question for, listen, very important, y'all. If you ever want to know, is this car a good car? Is this car a bad car? Don't ask people, not even me, because we don't have enough information. There's not enough data, because I might say, yeah, I like that car. Meanwhile, there's 10,000 people. That car has probably been sold to thousands and thousands of people. And there might be 10,000 of them out there that's having a problem with it. 10,000 of them out there where it's having electrical problems. How do we find that out? Every single car you want to look at, if I don't care what car, I don't care if you love it. If you don't do this, you could end up hating it. You go to Google and you type in the year. You have to add the year, because sometimes the 2019 was trash, but the 2020 they fixed it and it's great. So you always add the year and you type in the year, make and model, 2019 Kia, whatever, initial quality. There's 3 terms that you need to know. 2 are for short-term people who lease, and 2 are for long-term people who purchase. Those of you who lease, you want to type in the year, make, and model, initial quality. Initial quality is a report of what people are saying about the car the first 90 days. Because cars coming right off the line. Sometimes it's the day they're built, they come in, they go out the dealership, and in a month they're back in the dealership, in the service department. Initial quality. Initial quality is also going to tell you what people are saying about it. Is the car easy to use? Like first 90 days, what are the people saying? What's the data showing? After you do that, and look, when you type that into Google, you don't need to go to the second page. A bunch of articles are going to come up. What you do is you skim them and you just look for any red flags, any bright lights. If you see anything that's alarming in those first couple articles, reliability score 7 out of 10. Anything, initial quality score 7 out of 10. This vehicle ranks lower than most. That's red flags. And your love for that vehicle is going to start to subside. You're going to be like, dang, I really like this, but it don't like you. You know what I'm saying? You know, a car could, if a car's going to be in the shop every 90 days, it doesn't like its owner. So after you do the initial quality, you replace the word initial quality with reliability. This is for short-term people. You do not lease a car before you type this into Google. Every single car takes 5 minutes. After you do initial quality, you do reliability. Reliability is going to tell you what the people are saying for the first 3 years, which is the average lease. That's your lease term. So once you look at those 2, skim the same pages, look for red flags, it passes, now you can go get offers on that car. For those of you who are going to be buying, you're going to look at reliability and you're going to look at longevity. Type in the year, make, model, longevity. Right at the top, you might see something that says this car is known to last 200 to 300,000 miles when you maintain it. Good sign. You might see owners report transmission problems as the car ages. Red flag. There you go. Thanks for posting it. I see somebody posted it. Initial quality, reliability, longevity. The first 2 are for short-term people who lease. The last 2 are for long-term people who are purchasing. So don't ask anybody their opinion on, it doesn't even matter because it's subjective. Somebody says, hey, you like that car? Yeah, man, I love it. It's so comfortable. You might get in and be like, what are they talking about? I hate this thing. It's so uncomfortable. So people's opinions don't matter. Go to the data. That's how you protect yourself. All right. Does that make sense? That's how you protect yourself. Okay. Just check your spam, babyface. And when you purchase the book, y'all, the first thing I give you is a support email. First thing. Congratulations. The book is on its way to your email. If it's not in your email in 10 minutes, email support right here. All right. So if you didn't, go back, screenshot that, and then go back and if you missed it, then just DM me. If you're on you can't DM me if you're on YouTube. Check your spam. But let me see. I can't even send you a private message. So see. Just do me a favor and go to another platform, I guess Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, any of those three, and just send me a DM. But when you get your book, y'all, screenshot the support email, because when you go to your email, check your inbox and check your spam. That book's going to be there unless there's a letter off. And most times you're typing fast and there's a letter off. So, all right. I have about 9 months left on your lease. This one's TikTok. We've been taking questions for everybody from every platform. I have 9 months left on my lease and I'm about to go over miles. What should I do? 9 months left? Do an equity assessment. Jackie, equity assessment. Call your bank. In fact, go to YouTube, watch the rebroadcast, unless you have my book. Equity assessment. You need to know, can you sell that lease and get out clean? But don't be in a hurry to make a move. Mileage penalties are not big in the beginning. If you're going over by a couple $100, you're talking about very small penalties, but you want to do an equity assessment. You want to call your leasing company, find out how much you owe. That's called a payoff. And then you're going to go to CarMax. You're going to go to, this replay will be up on YouTube. So we talked about this. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Auto Nation, Sell My Car, and Car Guru, Sell My Car. That's 6 offers. We get bids for everything. Those of you who've been here, you know that. When you get those bids, because we don't trade cars, when you get those bids, it's going to tell you what your equity position is. If all those bids are below your payoff, then your only shot of you're comparing that to getting out early, but you don't want to get out early because you got a lot of payments left. You might want to go a little longer, wait till you have fewer payments left. But the first thing to do is do the equity assessment, because most times that's the best way to move. I can sell out of this thing early and I'll just start shopping for my lease now and sell this vehicle. Okay. And if you didn't know you could sell a lease, you can. So we've been talking about that. But go to YouTube, catch the replay, or you could get my book. It's 75% off. It's in my TikTok bio, and you could turn right to the section on equity assessment. It's step 2. There's 3 kinds of equity assessment, y'all. One of them is for those of you who have cars that are paid off or have a loan on them. The second is for those who have a lease. No third-party restriction. You're with a company like Toyota Financial, you're with Chase, there's several leasing companies where you could just sell to the highest bidder. And then the third equity assessment is for people who have a third-party restriction. So you're going to get your online offers, and then you're going to sell to a local dealer, whoever wins the bid. Because a third-party restriction does not mean you can't sell your lease. It's very important. It doesn't mean you buy the car and then resell it. When you buy the car, you pay taxes. That's money gone. When you buy the car, you pay fees. Money gone. A third-party restriction just limits who you can sell to. A third-party restriction means you must sell to a local dealer. That doesn't mean you walk into the dealer you bought it from and say, hey, all right, I'm going to sell it to you. No. We have a conversation. I have a script in my book. We talk to the used car manager. And we're talking to several used car managers, and we're seeing who's going to pay the most for the car. Because the thing about leases, they're very, very new. They're 2 to 3 years old. So every single used car manager in America wants to buy these cars. So we get bids, and that's how we sell our cars with a third-party restriction, because we avoid the fees. We don't have to pay taxes. We don't have to pay fees. Those of you who might have heard of people who bought and resold, I would never do it. Yeah, why would I want to pay taxes, $3,000-4,000 in taxes, $2,000 in taxes, plus fees? It comes out of my equity, comes out of my profit. All right. Thank you, Gilly Gill. Good to see you again. My man Gilly Gill checking in. That's my guy. I love it. All right. Listen, y'all, this was a long one. We just hit an hour and a half. Great show. I'm gonna have something in my bio by next week that's going to link you to a calendar, so you will be able to monitor when I'm live. So you'll be able to see, all right, Deshone will be live Tuesday, 12. You'll be able to add it to your calendar so you can meet us here. But this is what I love. I love that we probably had collectively, I look when I closed the live, we probably had 800-900 people come through here in the last hour and a half. I hope you guys got value. Everybody got value out of the live show. Type dollar signs if everybody got value. This is the kind of stuff that we're going to be doing. I want you to be able to get these questions answered. I want you to be able to have access to great information that is going to keep money in your household. All right. Everything that I teach, you're going to see. For those, like, my book has everything I teach. My videos on social media we put out probably, I don't know how many videos we put out. Everything that you're going to see on the live, you're going to say, yeah, I remember you saying that in a video. Everything you see in my book, you're going to see, wow, I remember him saying that in a video. So the information doesn't change. It's just, how do you want to get it? If you want it all in one spot, you get the book. If you want to go through the social media videos, now, only thing about that you got to know is those social media videos are for all different kinds of people. They're for every one of you on here. Some of you are high mileage drivers. Videos for y'all. Some of you are going to be leasing. Videos for y'all. Some of you are going to sell a lease. There's videos for y'all. Some of you are going to buy a used car. There's videos for y'all. So if you want to go through all my social media videos, you'll find the strategy, but you got to piece it together. The book has everything in a step-by-step way. That's why it's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. And it's step-by-step. Step 1, you start out here. Step 7 is delivery, which means if you got my book, you shouldn't be reading step 7 unless you're picking up your car. You shouldn't be reading step 7. Step 7 in my book, I'm saying, congratulations, great job. You did the process. You got your deal. Now let's get ready for delivery. You shouldn't be reading that unless that's the way the book is designed. It's not this book you just read all the way through and you're like, wow, that was good. No, by the time you get to step 7, your car should be outside, or you should be on your way to pick up the car. Does that make sense? So as part of the book launch, we're doing 75% off. If you haven't missed the countdown yet, you can get your copy. It's a digital book, and you'll also get free updates. So you don't have to worry about Deshone. What about when things change? What about when the market changes? What about when new websites come out? I'm on top of all of that. And what happens is I go in, I update the file of the book. You open up the book. You're going to literally be opening up the book and seeing, wait a minute, something changed. Yeah. Wait, I remember the script. Oh, wait, I remember the websites here. This is a new website. It wasn't here before. That's the beautiful thing about having a digital book. When I update the master file, you click that link and you get the new version. That's how we make sure we're always ahead of everybody else. That's how we make sure we're always on top of it. So it's normally $97. You can go to my TikTok bio, get yours. You can click on the, you can go to deshonsbook.com. I'm going to post a link one more time in Facebook. Here you go. You can go to this link, and I'm going to post it again in YouTube. Everybody who if you missed the 75% off, I'm going to post, this is a special link. And then anybody on TikTok, just DM me, and I'll get you the special link if you missed the countdown. But the new special link is only going to be good for 10 minutes. But other than that, I see you just got yours. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Wright. I appreciate y'all. We'll be back. We'll keep these live shows going. And this was a good one. This was a real good one. All right. I'll see y'all soon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Car Shopping Secrets. Come on in. We are on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. We're going to be taking questions from every platform. So just come on in, and I want you, the goal, just so you know, is to answer as many questions as possible. If you don't know me, my name is Deshone. I go by Deshone the Auto Advisor. I spent 14 years in the car business, and now my mission is to make sure you guys know how to save thousands of dollars when you buy or lease cars, and you know how to shop for cars the new way, where you're in control. So that is the mission. All right. It's going to be a lot easier. It's going to be almost stress-free. The more you do it, the more stress-free it will be. But you have to learn how to shop from home the right way. The right way. So come on in. Yep, I see you kindly. Just ask your question and let's get right to it. Let's get right to it. And before the entire broadcast, my new book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, will be available in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio for 75% off. It's normally $97. It's a digital book. It's everything I teach. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's rated 5 stars on goodreads.com, and you can get your copy right now. So let's go. Send in these questions. How do you get a car in your business name and credit? It's simple. If you're going to go, getting cars in your business name is the same as getting cars in your personal name until it's time to sign the paperwork. Whose name is it going in? Now, if you're going to use business financing, then that's its own strategy. So you can learn from somebody who's teaching business financing, lines of credit, things of that nature. But when it comes to buying cars and getting your best price, which I don't see business people doing, I'm gonna be 100%. There's not a lot of people that I see who are teaching you guys how to put cars in your business name, who are even remotely interested in getting the best deal on the car. They're so busy getting the car in their business name that they literally will overpay thousands of dollars just to get the car. Okay. Omar, question. In your book, it says that if you sell your lease to another dealer, you have to buy the car first. That means I have to write my current bank check. Nope. That's actually our plan A. That's not our plan A for selling our lease. If you have what most people do who are trying to get their lease equity, if you don't know you could sell a lease, if you didn't know you could sell a lease type of one, this is going to be relevant to you. We've sold leases for the last couple of years. You've always been able to sell them, but the last couple of years, it's been, there's a lot of money made. And when banks saw people making a lot of money selling their leases, $5,000, $7,000, $10,000, some of them implemented a third-party restriction, and that they limited who you can sell to. So they started so then what you saw was a lot of people started buying their leases and reselling them. I don't like when you buy your lease and resell it because you're going to pay taxes on the purchase and you're going to pay fees on the purchase, and then that's coming out of your profit. So I don't teach that. In the book, Omar, continue reading or just read that section over. There's a lot of money involved in that section. When we have a third-party restriction, we're getting bids from a local dealer. We're talking to used car dealers. I have a script in there of what to say. We're selling our car to a local used car dealer. And if there's more money to be made buying and reselling, then you can do that. But oftentimes, because dealers most times don't need to pay the taxes, the dealer payoff is lower usually than the customer payoff, which means you can sell direct to a dealer and put more money in your pocket, but you must get bids. And that's what I teach. So just read that section carefully, Omar. All right, come on in. Could everybody hit the share button who is into sharing? If you're into sharing, if you share great information, if you're into financial literacy, if you believe that people should be able to, have the information to make the best decisions for themselves, then hit that share button. I appreciate all the sharers. I cannot do this. We can't do this mission without the sharers. Thank y'all. All right, let's go. Let's go. I see Instagram. Let's go. Want to trade my car, which I still owe money on, and I want to lease now. That's going to be very common. Many of you are going to find out as you find out you will, unfortunately, many of you were just programmed never to lease. You were programmed that leasing was bad. And when you find out the math and how much that's cost you, the first thing you're going to want to do is get out of your finance and go into a lease. So you need to call your bank. In my book, I call this the equity assessment. This is step 2. After you decide, now you've already done step 1, which is great. Step 1 is deciding, should I buy or lease? Asking yourself the most important question: how many years am I keeping this car? To decide, are we going to go for our long-term purchase where we can avoid the depreciation in the long term, or are we going to go for a short-term lease to avoid the depreciation hit? Once you answer that question, that's step one. Now we move on to step two, which is our equity assessment. That's when we have to look at the current car we have, and we have to we have to find out what our position is in it. Are we in a negative position? Are we in a positive equity position? So you're going to call your bank, find out what your payoff is, get your payoff. Don't look at your residual value on your contract. Don't look at, whatever your statement is. If you're going, you can do this with a finance, you can do this with a lease. The equity assessment process starts the same way. You call, you get a payoff, you find out what you owe, and then you're going to go to the online bidding, to the online car buyers, and you're going to get offers so that you can find out relative to what you owe, how much is the market value of your vehicle. And the market value is based on how much someone's willing to pay you for the car. It's not based on what a algorithm site says. It's based on, I got 6, 7, 8 cash offers, which is when you follow this process, that's what you're going to get. And you take the highest one, and then you look at what you owe. And if the highest offer is greater than your payoff, that's called equity. If the highest offer is lower than your payoff, that's negative equity. In which case you have to go with a different plan with negative equity. And some of you are going to have negative equity. You're still going to want to transfer that to a lease. But you need to know how much negative equity you have. So you must complete the equity assessment first, then we move on. Pete, how much normally is a good amount to put down? So when we look at putting money down, it's all payment management. If I'm financing a car and my goal is to pay off the car as quick as possible because I'm keeping it for, 8, 10, 12, 15 years, then I'm going to put as much money as I can down. But it goes back to what we talked about in the last segment. If y'all were here in the last segment, you remember we talked about what you're doing with your money. So let's say a person is using them, you got your money invested, you're getting returns on your money, 8, 10, 12%. Then if you have a low interest rate, you might want to ride that out. So there's 3 ways to go. You're either going to say, all right, I'm not really interested in getting, investing my money. I'm not getting a lot on my money. Most of my money is either in the bank or in savings, and that's what I do. In which case you might say, I want to pay off this car as quick as possible, and then I want to just have no car payment. So I'll put more money down in that scenario. In a second scenario, you're investing your money and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to leverage. I'm going to use the bank's money at a very low interest rate if it's available, 2, 3%, 0%, 0.99%. I'm going to use this money, let my money make more money for me, and then I'm going to put as little as possible down. And then the third case is when you say, okay, well, the third case is probably going to cash or a lease scenario, but that's how you would compare it. It depends on your personal choices, what you're doing with your money. And if you're not into investing and making a lot of money on your money, then you probably want to get that car paid off as quick as possible, in which case put as much as you could afford to put down so that the loan's out of the way as soon as possible, but it's all personal. All right. I see from IG. Is it a way to get a lease without a down payment? Look, are you kidding me? And that's not an insult to your question. That's just, this is all we do. I know you might have looked at these questions and you said, you might have looked at these lease deals online and you see all of these deals that say, hey, put 3,000 down or the $32.99 do it lease signing. Listen, the lease is custom. You choose the mileage. You choose the structure. So the way we shop, this is all in my book and this is all in my free videos. So as you go through all my free videos, y'all gonna hear all of these things match. Whether you on these lives with me, whether you watching my videos, could we keep hitting the likes on TikTok? Let's shoot the likes up even more. Appreciate y'all. Whether you're looking at the free videos, whether you're on a live or whether you're in the book, you're gonna see they're all the same. So when the way we shop for a lease is we are picking our car and we're going to get our offers with only first month payment out of pocket, 12,000 miles per year. If anyone tells you they can't do that, they're lying to you. Straight up, they are lying to you. And that's why we never put our faith in one dealer. In my book, I have something called the 25-to-5 strategy, where we're connecting with 25 local dealers online in 20 minutes. I know it sounds crazy, but when you got a computer and you know where to go and what to say, and you're using copy and paste messages, you're just letting them know. I'm gonna let 25 dealers know in 20 minutes what I'm looking for, because out of that 25 dealers, maybe 10, 12 are gonna have a car that I'm interested in, depending on the car, maybe 10, 12. And then out of that, I'm looking to get 5 to 7 offers. So it's 25 to 5, 25 connections, 5 offers. And until you start doing this, until you start looking at 5 offers, y'all, you're not going to see how overpriced some dealers are. When you start looking at 5 offers, you're going to see how overpriced some dealers are. And because about 80% from what we see, and I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people around the country, over 1,600 people now in my private group, there is 80% of dealers are going to take a shot at you to the tune of thousands and thousands, but 20% of dealers are going to be the best. They're going to be honest. They're going to make shopping from home easy. They're going to try to beat their competition, and that's the people that we end up purchasing from or leasing from. Is it better to lease or buy when using for a business? It depends on the type of business. The only business that I say it's not better to lease. See, leasing is for people who are not keeping their cars 8 years. Very simple. It's called the 8-year rule. And when you see that what it's about is avoiding the depreciation hit. When you're buying a car, your biggest expense by far is depreciation. If you buy a car today for $30,000, brand new car, what's that car worth in 5 years, y'all? Throw some numbers out there. If you buy a car today, $30,000, brand new car, what's that car going to be worth in 5 years? Throw some numbers out there. Thanks, Ed. I see you, man. Appreciate you. Look, let me see. Let's see what people come in at. Hold on. Hold the question, Dolan. Now, I got my man Dolan working in the background so we can see everybody's question. But hold on. Let's go deep on this. It's not going to be worth 17. If you could buy a car for 30,000 and then it's worth 17 in 5 years, that's not going to happen. So let's just and 22. See. All right. This is a deeper problem. Let me hit on this, y'all. Let me hit on this. This is a big problem. All right. Some of you let the last 3 years fool you. And this happened to car dealers too. There are still car dealers out there that think this is pandemic and they're trying their best to hold on to what was. I used to, during the pandemic, some car salesman said, man, somebody will walk in, I tell them they got to pay $8,000 over sticker, and I got it. I could get them to pay that. They're still trying to hold on to that. They don't realize that over a year ago, their competition started adjusting and started really doing, well, their competition was doing deals from the get-go. So that's them. But let me talk to you. If you bought a car in 2018, 17, 16, 19, 20, early 2020, you could have sold that car and actually either made money. In fact, most people made money. That's gone. Don't let that get you thinking that there is that you can buy a car and flip a car or break even on a car. That was a once in a lifetime opportunity based on limited inventory, based on a global pandemic, based on a microchip shortage, based on an industry that usually puts 60 million cars a year through the transaction. They didn't have it. And so everything went up $7,000 to $15,000. Everything. Some of you cashed out. If you cashed out during that time, those last 3 years, 2020, 2021, 2022, if you cashed out, you sold something and you made a bunch of money, type a $sign. Just type $sign so we can actually see. Because some of you, I was talking to you back then and you cashed out through my advice. And some of you, you just found out on your own or you found out through somewhere else and you ended up cashing out and making a bunch of money. If that's you, put $signs. But that is over. The times we had people buying cars in 2019, overpaying for them or buying cars and coming back and flipping them and making money on them. You try that now, you're going to lose your shirt. It's over. So I'm here to tell you that the normal depreciation on a car is a 20% loss the first year. 20% loss the first year. So if you pay 30 grand for a car, that car is worth 80% of 30 grand after a year with normal driving. If you're a high mileage driver, it's worth even less than that. If you're a low mileage driver, very low, it's worth a little more than that. But that's standard, 20% going. Second year, you're going to lose probably another 15%. Third year, you're probably going to lose about 12.5%. Probably lose another 12.5% the next year. Then you'll lose 10%. And that's the depreciation curve. That's where we are. So when I asked y'all 3-4 minutes ago, if we bought a $30,000 car, what it would be worth today? The answer is what it would be worth after 5 years. The answer is probably going to be about 12 grand. The answer is probably going to be about 12 grand. And we've gotten so far, I had to go deep on that subject, so I kind of forgot what the original question was and how we got on it. But the name of the game is avoiding depreciation. That was how we got on it. So if you don't know, that's your biggest expense. Your biggest expense is not maintenance. It's depreciation. You're losing thousands and thousands of dollars in depreciation. So when you're deciding, should I lease or purchase? When I tell you the answer is 8 years, if you're not keeping your next car 8 years, you should be leasing it, because if you get a great lease deal, you can't get a regular lease deal. You must get a great lease deal that comes through multiple offers. Then you're going to avoid those big depreciation losses that these owners are taking. Now, at the same time, if you're buying your car to keep 8 years, you should be purchasing it, because once that depreciation levels out, remember what I said, you lose this percent the first year, this percent the second year, but every year later, it starts to get smaller and smaller. Eventually, you're only losing like 5% on the car, and that's the time where you want to keep it. That's when you won. That's the reward. That's where you're like, okay, now I'm winning based on my purchase. Okay. So whenever you're looking at leasing versus purchase, it's a long term. You got to look down the road, and you must ask yourself, how long am I going to keep this car? All right. All right. Let's go. Dolan, next question. Dolan pulling questions in from every platform. Should lease rates increase depending on yearly mileage allotment? So we always shop with 12,000 miles per year. Find your best deal. Shop multiple offers. The way I just laid out in the beginning of the show, I gave you the structure on how we shop offers. If you missed it, watch the replay. Once you get multiple offers, you get 5 to 7 offers, pick your best one, and then you adjust the mileage. Because you want to adjust your mileage once you know you're dealing with an honest dealer. Once you know a dealer has won the bid, they're not going to try to put extra, like if the mileage to go from 12,000 to 15 is $25 a month more, an honest dealer will mark it up $25. You don't have an honest dealer, they'll mark it up $35. They'll mark it up $32. Everything will have a little cushion in there and you don't want that, because cushion is built-in profit that, they're not going to disclose. So once you do that, yeah, you pay for additional mileage, but you don't adjust your mileage until you actually find your deal. And yeah, you pay for mileage because you pay for usage. But then again, when you have a great lease, like I'm going to show y'all a couple great leases throughout the show, people who are getting, ridiculous deals right now. And y'all see, to add a little more mileage to these leases, the payment is still pennies. It's ridiculous. Go ahead, Dolan. But you got to shop first and then you adjust. All right, YouTube, looking to buy 4Runner, but they have a $1,500 BS protection package. Okay, they is one dealer. It's not Toyota. Toyota's 4Runner. This gentleman shopping for a Toyota 4Runner, y'all. The dealer that you went to has a $1,500 BS fee. That's why we don't shop and put our faith in one dealer. You know how many 4Runners there are the way you saw them? I don't care what car you're looking at. You could be looking at the most rare G-Wagon. There's at least a couple more in the country. So when it comes to something like a 4Runner, there's thousands of them. No matter what color, you might say, yeah, but I like this color. There's thousands of them, thousands. That's a mass-produced vehicle. So you have to have that in your mind. If you start looking at it like, oh, it's only one of these, oh, they got you, because they're going to make you think that's the only one. And you're not going to see that there's other ones that not only may they not have the BS fees, they actually may be lower priced. And that's what you need to be seeing. We go about 100 miles out when we start our used car sales. In my book, in day 5, I have something called the multiple marketplace strategy. I laid out the 25-to-5 strategy. That's how you shop for new cars and leases. That's a different strategy. When we're shopping for pre-owned cars, we're using the multiple marketplace strategy. Can y'all keep tapping the screen? Everybody on TikTok, we got a couple hundred people. This is crazy. Could y'all just keep tapping the screen, shoot the likes up? Let's keep grabbing attention over here on TikTok. Appreciate all of y'all. But when you're shopping for a pre-owned car, we're using the multiple marketplace strategy, where we're looking at every website that has used cars. Some of you may think Car Gurus is the same as cars.com. the same as Auto Trader. They're not. These companies have different contracts, different dealerships, different places that they advertise inventory for. And not only are you shopping those marketplaces, you're shopping the Carvanas, you're shopping the CarMaxes, because occasionally, sometimes they'll have the best price on a particular vehicle. You never know what they're going to do. So if you're not shopping them and looking at all the used car inventory, you are going to miss the lowest price in the market. But once that happens, you'll find a car, and you always verify fees before you leave your house. You never get to a dealership and have fees pop up on you that you didn't know about. That means you didn't give a call and find out the bogus fees beforehand, in which case you let somebody waste your time. So you can't negotiate. That's why I got a video. Some of you may have seen it. We don't negotiate with fake fees. We don't do it. We don't do it. It's a losing battle. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Let's keep it rolling. I'm trying to get through as many as we can today. I want to go through as many questions as fast as possible. How do I know how much equity I have on my lease? It's a very common question, y'all. I mean, we're kind of getting a similar question asked in a different way. Call your bank, find out what you owe, what your payoff is. Go to the marketplaces that I mentioned earlier to get offers. CarMax, Vroom, Vroom's out of business, sorry. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Auto Nation, and Car Gurus, Sell My Car. That'll get you about 6 offers. Now, whenever you're using those websites, you'll get to a part where it says, is the vehicle owned, leased, or financed? Just put owned, because their websites have something built in where they say they can't buy leases, because they out of all the leasing companies, some have third-party restrictions and some don't. But their websites are not set up to see who has third-party restrictions. They just kind of blocked it, because I'm sure they had thousands and thousands of people, when everybody was making all of this money, calling them saying, "Oh, I want to sell my car to you." And then they looked at the contract and said, "Oh, we can't buy it." So they basically just put a block on their website. But if you don't have a third-party restriction, and there are several leasing companies still that don't have a third-party restriction, meaning you can sell to anyone. But if you do have a third-party restriction, we take those offers that we got from those online car buyers, then we call a local car dealership, we call a local brand, and we speak to the used car manager, and we get a couple offers from used car managers, and we sell direct to them. And we avoid any fee. We don't buy and resell. I can't think of one person. You can leave that up, Dolan. I'll get right to it. You can leave that up. I can't think of one person that has learned from me that actually bought their lease and resold it. It's just you're losing thousands of dollars in taxes and fees. It's just not worth doing when you can sell direct to a dealer. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Let's keep it rolling. I'm loving this. Thank you. Could everybody tag a friend? Everybody's not going to tag a friend, but if you are somebody who tagged, I'm telling you, your friends will be upset if they find out that they went and bought a car a couple months down the road, and they end up overpaying for it, which most people are. And they find me later and you didn't share it. And they like, "Yo, why didn't you share that guy? Yeah, I've been following Deshone for years. You didn't share his stuff with me." So don't be that. You don't want to have that. It's an awkward conversation. You might as well just tag a friend, think about somebody who you love, and share this wisdom with them. Let's get everybody saving money. All right, we can't find a lease for less than $500 a month. Every time we turn a car in, they increase the lease amount. We love Jeep, but we are now trying to, but they're calling us, telling us the interest rate is high. We have 12,000 miles left. So, I mean, if you can't get a Jeep, so this was somebody that got a Jeep in our private group. Let's see. Hold on. Let me go to my, let's see, who got a Jeep? I got to label these different. No, I got to label these different. Ooh. Jeeps have incredible deals if you know how to shop. Anybody who's interested in leasing a Jeep Grand Cherokee, which kind of Jeep is it, Liz? If it's a Jeep Grand Cherokee, let me see if I can find this. Person, because I know that deal was ridiculous. Hold on. I just want to tell you how the difference in shopping and getting multiple offers, because if you already have them calling you and telling you that every time you see, I know that scenario where she just said every time we release from them, the price goes up. That means she's buying and leasing from the same dealer. So in most cases, when you're leasing from the same dealer, every single time you get a deal from them, they're going to bump the payment up a little bit. Very rarely is it going to go down because they've conditioned you for it to go up a little bit every single time. Now, in the case of the pandemic, they had people jumping up $150 a month. But when it comes to Jeep, hold on. What kind of Jeep? Is it a Grand Cherokee or a Wrangler? I know I have somebody in my group that just got a Jeep for it. They saved like $7,000. And that was on a limited. That was on like a $59,000 Jeep. Oh, that's right. I text my friend the deal because she was shopping for a Jeep and I text her the deal. So let me actually see. Here we go. All right, here we go. That's right. Okay. She got a $45,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee. If y'all can't see this, this is Raphael. She got a $45,000. Now I don't know how you're equipping your Jeep, but hers is $45,925. She's paying $549 a month, and that's all the money she gave them. She put $540. She gave them $549, and she drove off. So if you are somebody who says, all right, that deal is ridiculous, I'm gonna put down $1,500 more, drop my payment to like probably about $1,500 more out of pocket, will drop that payment to probably $498. And or you might say, Deshone, I don't even need the limited. I see she got the blacked out one. I don't need all of that. I'll take one that's a little less than that. But this was last month. So, I mean, you must shop offers on these cars. You must shop multiple offers. You must get at least 5 quotes from 5 unrelated dealers, because one thing that will surprise you is Raphael had offers for 600, 700. I remember I helped the lady Christina. She was in our group a year ago, and her best offer, she got like a $52,000 Jeep, white with the black top, and it was like $606 a month. But her highest offer she got from a dealer was like $1,100. So she had some for $1,100. She had some for like $899 or something, and then her best one was $606. So oftentimes, what you think is overpriced is just that one dealer you're dealing with that's trying to take a shot at you. That's why multiple offers from home is the way to go. This is what's in my book. This is what I teach in my videos. If you guys want to have it right in one spot with all my scripts, everything, I don't even want you talking. I really want you typing, because when you talk, you can say something wrong. If you type, you can't mess up. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. If you type, you can't mess up. So 75% off. I just put the book out. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. If you hate car shopping, type hate. Type I hate it. All right. And we're already rated 5 stars on Goodreads. And I want y'all to have everything I teach in one spot. That way you don't have to go through all my videos trying to see which one's for me and which one's for leasing and which one's for selling my lease. And, oh, this one's for a used car. I don't need that. That's you can do that. You can certainly do that. The information's there. But if you want it all in one spot, get your book for 75% off in my TikTok bio, or go to my Instagram bio, click that link, and then click the button that says 75% off, or go to deshonsbook.com. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Yep, you good, Dolan. I want to buy a certified pre-owned car. I want a safe, reliable car. What do you recommend? I'm thinking Subaru. Okay, so when we're trying to find what car we want, get an idea of it, and then we do a research. We do our check. We check to see reliability. There's 3 terms that you got to be familiar with. 2 are going to apply to you if you're a short-term person, which means you're leasing, you're not keeping your cars 8 years, and 2 are going to be important to you if you're a purchaser, if you're buying a car to keep 8, 9, 10 years. If you're leasing, the 2 important terms are initial quality. Initial quality is, what does the data say about this car its first 90 days? The first 90 days the car was in production. Now, the way we do an initial quality check, this we do right before we go and get offers on a car, because we never get offers on a car until we find out if it's a good car. You don't want to be getting offers and then you get a great deal. Now you decide to check to see if it's a good car and you're like, oh, it has electrical problem. No. So this is one of the last steps we do. We do this in step 4 of my process. It's a 7-step process. Step 4 is shopping, not buying. That's our research. That's our test drives. That's our making sure the car is good. So you type in the name of the car, the year, always put the year, 2024 Subaru Impreza, initial quality. Type that into Google and you look at the first page. If there's any red flags, you'll see it. Skim those first couple articles. It shouldn't take you more than 3 minutes. You'll see, oh, click on this. Reliability score is a 70 out of 100. I might pass on that. Initial quality, rather, is a 7 out of 100. We don't want to see anything that gives us concern. Now, once it passes initial quality, now you type in 2024 Subaru Impreza reliability. So initial quality is your first 3 months of the vehicle's lifespan from the time it's new. Reliability is the first 3 years. So if that car is in the shop every couple months or once a year, or for the same issue, if it's having a misfire in the engine, you'll see it in the reliability ratings. For somebody like you, Tina, you want to look at both the reliability and then you want to type in 2024, whatever year you're buying, 2021 Subaru Impreza longevity. And you want to do the same thing. You'll see if the transmission's known to go, it'll tell you right up top. These cars are known to last 150 to 200,000 miles, 200,000 to 300,000 miles. These cars, many owners report transmission issues around 80,000 miles. That quick 5-minute check will avoid thousands and thousands of dollars in bills and headaches. Thank you, Blood. Said you looking younger. I appreciate it. So that's how you do. But also, don't think you got to buy it. You can keep that up, Dolan. All right, we're pulling questions from everywhere. Instagram, TikTok. So make sure y'all are typing your questions. We're on 4 platforms. And I got my man Dolan pulling the questions in. Don't think that a certified pre-owned car is better than a non-certified car with a good history. A good history, non-certified, could be better than a car that's certified without the history. See, I'd rather a non-certified car with a great title, which means it's not a salvage title, it's not a rental, it's not a, funny title. Great service records, which means I can see that the previous owner or owners regularly took care of the car. That's the biggest indicator that car was taken care of, is service records. And then a good accident report. I take that over a certified car. When I pull the Carfax, I don't see many service records. So don't think because you're getting a certified car, if you don't do your due diligence, you could still lose. You want to look for those 3 things: title, service records, accident history. That's the biggest indicators. It's no guarantees, but those are the indicators. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Can you explain the worksheet on the multiple marketplace strategy? I signed up for the 5 sites, but confused when there are multiple cars on each site. If I pick high and low on each site, the sheet will have like 50 cars. Correct. I'm looking to actually narrow down. First thing we do. So this is somebody who obviously has my book and she's asking about this strategy. So look, when we're looking at used cars, we're on every marketplace. So I want you to think about like Amazon.com, Walmart.com. Let's replace the car with a TV. It's no way if you're looking for a TV and you're trying to get your best deal and pay the lowest price, you're not going to check all the online websites. Now, some people might check only Amazon. Though that's not as good as checking Amazon and checking Walmart.com and checking BestBuy.com. See, I know Best Buy is overpriced most of the time. You get what I'm saying? But that's how I feel about CarMax. But I still got to check them because they're overpriced most of the time, not all the time. And every now and then you see the one that was surprising, they'll have the best offer right there. So that's why I'm always going to check all the marketplaces: CarMax, Driveway, and then we're going to open up your Auto Trader, Cars.com, Car Gurus, at Carfax.com. There's 8 used car marketplaces. So we open them up and now we put in our criteria. What are we looking for? Now, we don't look to buy. I don't want you buying the first day when you open those marketplaces. Here's the goal when we open the marketplaces. Who remembers what I said about market value? If you were on the last broadcast, or if you heard me talk about it, what are we interested in when it comes to market value? Who remembers? And let me see, we might have a whole fresh crowd on here. We got a couple hundred people. We got like 400 people on here between all the platforms. So I don't want to assume, but let's see if anybody has heard from any of my other broadcasts. When it comes to market value, what are we interested in? All right, we might have a whole fresh crowd. Below market value, y'all. So how do we buy below market value? First thing we need to do is see what is market value. Yep, I see you, Ronald. The first thing we need to do is see what is market value. So your goal when you open up those marketplaces, and this is what I teach you in my book. First things first, we sort all our prices high to low. We create accounts because we want to be alerted of any new inventory. Because once I know what the market value is, I know where the low side of the market is. So you might look and say, we sort all the prices, low to high, low to high, low to high. Now I can see all the low prices are around 22, 23, 20, 22, 23, 24, but then it goes up to 25, 26, 27. That's market value, that middle. And then you got the overmarket, it's always going to be cars that are priced higher, above market value. Now, when we look at the low side, here's what we're able to say. Here's what you have to know. Be prepared for it. The low side of the market is where all the crap is. So you're going to see bad titles. You're going to see accidents. You're going to see frame damage. That's fine, because you're looking through all of that, and then you're going to find that diamond, and you know what the low side of the market is. Here's what's also very important. You might see a car. You might say, I want a black car or a white or silver. You see a car that has all the boxes I talked about, which we checked. Title great, service records great, accidents great. It's the wrong color though. Dang, I don't want blue. That's an indicator. I don't care if it's blue. I'm not going to buy it because it's not my color, but it's showing me where the low side of the market is. That's a deal. If somebody wanted a navy blue car, that's a daggone below market deal. So we have to find out what the market is. Then we find out where the low side of the market is. And then we have on alert so that every car that pops up, it comes to our email immediately. As soon as they list it, boom, we get the email. And we know the low side of the market. So when we look at that car and we're like, oh, wait, this is $22,000 and it's my color. All right, you open it. Ah, shoot, 2 accidents. No problem. Now you get another one a couple days later. Oh, shoot. All right, black. Oh, $22,500. Good price. You open that thing. Wait, service records look great. Oh, accidents look great. Now we go to verify if there are any bogus fees. We do one more step. We pull the window sticker because I want to know what's in that car. I want to know what the original equipment what is the actual original price. Once I find that out, I got to get there and get that car. So that's how you do it. You have to, it's a narrowing down. You're looking at all this inventory. I'm going to narrow it down to the best, and then I'm going to snag my deal. And you're at home. You're not in these dealers where you're at home. Okay. And that's all in the book. All right, let's go. Oh, how do I get your book? It's in my TikTok bio. Welcome to all the new people that jumped on the broadcast. It's in my TikTok bio. It's in my Instagram bio. Click the picture of me, and then you'll see a website there. And then there, click the button. You won't leave the broadcast. So some people are like, Deshone, I don't want to get the book yet. I don't want to miss the broadcast. Well, the book is only on sale, 75% off for 30 minutes. So click the link. You won't leave. You'll still be able to hear everything we're talking about. You can come back and keep asking questions, but don't miss the 75% off. Click that website, or if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you can go to deshonesbook.com, or you can scan the QR code if you're watching on TV. Go ahead, Dolan. Oh, matter of fact, let me go to TikTok, because Dolan, you're not on TikTok. Can you come with me to buy a car? Not necessary, Danielle. Thank you. I appreciate it, though. Listen, that's the old way. So you think that, see, You think that we're somehow going back and forth with dealers and hey, I kind of need somebody. That's like when I was selling cars and people thought bringing their uncle in was going to help them. No, we don't shop like that. So you don't need any. The reason why, listen, I'm gonna share the reason why you see people like this who, well, I just showed you Raphael. How she get that deal? She's from home. See, you put yourself in a vulnerable position where you go in. Some of you, I mean, be honest. If you ever felt like, you were being taken advantage of, or you were getting talked down to at a dealership, type of one. If you feel like, I'm outmatched, or if you're not a good negotiator, how about that? Who on here is not a good negotiator? Type of one in the chat. All of these things I want you to know. That's why the old way has worked for dealers. I was there for 14 years. It's all about psychology and negotiation and confrontation and being comfortable with confrontation, which most car salespeople are. Most people, unless you're like in that business, you're not. So you want to get it over with as quick as possible. Someone who's fighting for their money doesn't mind being uncomfortable with you for an hour, or 2 hours, or a couple days or weeks. So you have to now take away that power, put yourself in a different position where you're in control, and that's in your house. That's why you don't need me. You need if you use what I teach. If you do it your old way, then yeah, you need somebody, and you're still not going to get your best offer, because your best offer comes from shopping multiple dealers. But once you start shopping multiple dealers, you'll see they'll be jumping through hoops, and you'll feel like, dang, I got the power now. That's the name of the game. Go ahead. I'm going to do another one from TikTok, because I know Dolan, you're not pulling. We'll get back to IG. We got all questions coming from everywhere. I just don't want to leave TikTok out. Would you recommend buying a car outright, cash, no note? Yeah, we talked about that in the last hour. If you're not invested, if you're not investing your money, and the bank's money, if the bank, look, it depends on if you're investing your money. If you're and you're making money on your money, those people don't usually put their cash in cars. They want to keep their money making money. But if you're not really investing, then you probably want to just pay cash, get the transaction out the way. And if you're investing your money and you can use the bank's money at a low interest, you have to always check if the car you're shopping for has a low interest rate on it, y'all. Some of these cars have 0%, 0.99%. This is like a finance rebate. It's like the bank saying, here, use our money for free, and we will let, like, you cannot compete. It's no point in going to your credit union. No one can beat it. 0.99%, 1.99. When you can use the bank's money that cheap, you can keep your money making money, and you can keep your money in your bank account. A lot of times in this economy, people want to have their money available. So it's all personal though. If you notice, unless we're talking about leasing or buying, I'm not really going to say something you did was wrong, because it's a case-by-case basis. I'm more about, let me show you the options based on different people, and you pick who you are and you do that. The only thing that I'll tell somebody in a lot of cases they're wrong, almost all, is the leasing versus buying scenario all day. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Bring it in from either Instagram, TikTok, somewhere. All right, Tina, I want to buy a car and pay it in full, but don't want them to take advantage of me, because if it is, okay, that's kind of a similar question, Tina. We've been talking about that like the whole broadcast. So, like, that's how to shop is kind of what we're talking about. So let's go to the next one and just, stay on the broadcast. The continual theme is nobody on here who's using what they learn from me, what they're learning in this live, what I have on my videos, what's in my book. No one should be worried about being taken advantage of, because you're not shopping the old way anymore. Alejandro, I have equity in my current lease. If I want to purchase the vehicle, could the dealer subtract that equity from the purchase price on the lease contract if I decide to buy it? No. If how do you know you have equity? Your equity is based on someone offering to buy the vehicle from you. So if you listen, equity is based on offers, nothing else. Kelly's Blue Book telling you your car is worth 20 grand is not an offer. Kelly's Blue Book instant cash offer, where they actually have a local dealer or a couple local dealers who will make you an offer, cash, come pick up, hey, bring your car in, we'll give you a check. That's how you assess equity. We do this in step 2. Once we decide whether we're leasing versus buying, which is the foundation of our car deal, you can't get a great deal if you purchased, but you should have leased. Can't get a great deal. It's over. You're on the wrong foundation. You can't get a great deal if you leased and you should have purchased, because the long-term wins you would have gotten, you now lose. Once you move past that, your next step is equity assessment. Look at my current car. If I had, now some of you, Deshone, I don't have a current car, then you skip it. But if you have a current car, a lease, or a car you own, or a car you're paying for, you're financing, equity assessment, which means I'm going to call my bank and I'm going to find out what my payoff is. Then I'm going to go to the actual online buyers and get offers. And then I'm going to see, are my offers, is my highest offer higher than my payoff? That's equity. But there's no other way. So if you were to purchase that vehicle, no one can take your equity, because you know this is what my car would have sold for, but I'm going to buy it for the price they say I could buy it for. So if that's $4,000 less, great. But also be aware, not everyone is willing to pay you that. That was just one buyer who beat everybody else. So you know, that's why I'm not into buying leases. Because I'm not into buying your car, because all you're doing when you're buying your lease is buying a used car. That's it. That's all you're doing. All right. Hold on. I'm 20,000 miles over on my lease. Should I get a new lease or purchase my current vehicle? All right. This is very important, y'all. Watch this. I'm about to save. Look, y'all know I get excited about saving you money. If you listen, you're going to be writing me and telling me for years about all the money that you save. This is a big warning. When it comes to purchasing leases that are over mileage, some of you, in an effort to avoid a $2,500 mileage penalty, that was your fault. Okay? I'm not going to beat you up, but you drove the mileage. You contracted for this mileage, you drove more. That could happen through negligence, or it could happen through a real lifestyle change. I used to work 10 minutes from home. Now I work 40 minutes from home. It happens. And it doesn't matter. We're going to pay for what we use. It's okay, especially if you got a great lease deal. I'll pay for what I use. But here's the math about this. Going over your lease mileage is never a reason to buy your vehicle. Here's why. From the day you lease a vehicle, they tell you your lease, you could buy it. The purchase value, the residual value at the end is, let's say, $18,000. Let's just say that. Most times throughout history, the car wasn't worth that. When you finished with that lease, the car wasn't worth that. Deshone, what do you mean the car wasn't worth that? A comparable used car, same year, similar mileage, you could have found for less. That was throughout history. So we never purchase leases without finding out, is the purchase price that they're even offering me, if I had the right mileage, we ain't talking about going over yet. If I had the right mileage, was that a good price? Many times it was not. Now, when you go over the mileage by 20,000 miles, does the purchase price change? Do they give you a new purchase price because you went 20,000 miles over? Do they say, hey, you know what? It was 18, but because you put all those miles on it, it ain't worth 18 no more. You don't care. We'll give it to you for 15. They don't do that, which means you are actually overpaying, because you're paying the same price that they said you should. If your car had 36,000 miles, you could buy it for 18. Your car got 56,000 miles and you're about to go pay 18. That's why going over mileage is never a reason to buy your lease. It's even more reason not to. It makes the car even more not worth what that buyout price is. So the best thing for you to do is to assess the penalty. First thing to do is see, you're going to compare three things. Can I sell this car? Using the equity assessment, we talked about that. Either watch the replay, get my book at 75% off in my Instagram bio, go to step 2, which is the equity assessment, get my book in the TikTok bio, click the link and get it for 75% off. It's normally $97. You could be reading it in a matter of minutes. And then what you do is you go to day 2 and you do the equity assessment and you see, all right, how much could I sell this for? If I'm going to lose, now I got to see what's the smallest loss I could take. Now, you might be able to sell it to a buyer. Let's say CarMax wants to buy it. They win the bid, and you might only have to you might only have to come up with $1,000. I'm just making a number up. Sell it to them, pay the difference. It's better than a mileage penalty. It's better than the penalty you're going to hit. Now, second scenario is you actually see, if I was to replace the car now, what's the mileage penalty and the payment penalty? Because what most people don't understand is you have payments remaining. And some of them, so it's so many lies that's been told. I feel bad for y'all because you don't know from which angle is what. Because somebody you might say, oh, well, I went in with, I had 3 payments left. I had 6 payments left and the dealership took care of them. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. In 99% of the cases, those 6 payments you had got rolled over to the next car deal. So those payments didn't disappear. So what you're going to do is you're going to compare. If I sell the car to the highest bidder, what's my penalty? Or maybe I went over on my Jeep mileage. This was back when the market was real high. I was over about 6,000 miles, and I still sold my Jeep for $8,900. Again, everything in the world, every car in the United States was worth 7 to 15 grand more. So just because you're over miles, don't mean you can't sell that car and close the gap. Second thing you want to compare is, if I get out now, what would the mileage and payment penalty be? Third thing is, if I just drive and go to the end, what would the mileage penalty be without the payments? Because if you got 3 payments left of $500, you got your mileage penalty and you got $500 in pay, $1,500 in payments to account for. So this all is structured. Very important. This is why some people say, Deshone, like, man, I had a girl say, listen, you make things complex. This is a girl that y'all remember, I don't know, some people's on here. She gave a horrible advice about leasing, and we featured her on the show. I don't know if she ended up seeing the video or not, but she wasn't too happy. Naturally, I wasn't attacking her personally. I was just attacking what she was saying about leasing. Her video was incorrect. And she said, you make things a little complex. She's a car saleswoman. She's in the business. And I said, listen, you've been taught, young lady, that this thing is supposed to be this simple. Why do you think people out here and they hate it? It's simple, but you're losing money. See, if you just take it a little more serious, I don't need you to treat it like a house purchase, but it's the second most expensive purchase behind a house. Let's treat it like that, and you'll save the money. But if you're not willing to treat this, every time you purchase a car, you should be treating it like a small house. I'm gonna take this finances seriously. I'm gonna have me a strategy. I want to make sure I keep the most money possible. And when it comes to leasing, you must structure your lease right, or you're not going to enjoy leasing, and you're going to have these penalties that you shouldn't have had unless you had a lifestyle change. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Let's keep the questions rolling. I had a few on TikTok, and what you're going to find is somebody's going to ask the same question you have. So even if I don't ask you, literally some of you are going to be like, oh, that's the same question I had. All right, so is it true if you end your lease early by having the dealer buy out your car because they need inventory, you always lose? No, if somebody buys your car, that's a clean transaction. Just make sure that you know what you're going to walk with. No, you could sell your car a year into the lease. If you do your equity assessment and you see, man, I could get out or I could break even, clean transaction. There's no losing in that. Unless you put a bunch of money down, which is why we tip. If you put 4, 5, 6 grand down on your lease because you wanted to lower that payment to a comfortable zone, then you don't really want to end that lease early. All right. YouTube. Do you think there's another shift in the new car market that will bring the price back down to a normal? I'm sorry to tell you, prices is great. Felicia, when it's just they're not good for you. You gotta get your skills up. I'm gonna show you something. I was helping I have a car buying school. Besides my book, I have a video school where I coach people around the country. I started that school because people were out here getting killed in 2021. November 2021, I opened the school, online school. Felicia was our first graduate, middle of the pandemic, January. She got a BMW X1. She saved $1,950 off the price, a $1,950 discount. And that was the first indicator that I don't believe what the heck going on out there. Now, for those of you who, if you use what I'm teaching you, deals are everywhere. Deals are everywhere. Look at what I'm showing you. You saw Greg, $56,000 vehicle. His lease payment is $527 a month. Look at the date. Look at Taupe, 2023 BMW, $54,000 vehicle, $690 a month. Look at Danielle. Look at the date. Look, $44,000 Audi, $550 a month. I hadn't seen. Look, $2,086 discount on a Toyota Camry. We've been making deals. If anybody's out, look, if you're gonna be in my world, and I do want you in my world, don't believe what people. There's two things you don't believe. Don't believe what one dealer says, and don't believe what anyone says about deals, because they'll tell you in a minute, oh, it's so hard out there. Now you don't realize. Here's a bad thing about that. You don't realize when you go into dealers shopping that way with that energy, they hear all of that. Hey, man, man, everything's so overpriced. They're going to use that against you. Yeah, man, I just came from a dealer, man. I got a quote on that car, man. It was too expensive. Well, how much did they quote you? Man, they said it was like $700 a month. Oh, really? Now, I might know you. Now, the best deal on that car might be $5, but you might have walked into a dealer who like, man, what if I could sell you a little more than that? See, the words you're saying, you don't realize how they're hurting you. That's why you use my stuff, you don't even talk. You don't talk to salespeople. See, I had to set this up in a way it's truly online, because the more you talk, if you like Deshone, I don't even know I'm saying stuff that's hurting me. I know you don't. But that's my job to tell you. I was in the car business for 14 years. The information that you are going in, the energy you're going in saying, oh man, I need a car this week, hurting you. Desperate vibes. Can't say no for long. Maybe you could say no today, but not for long. That's all the stuff you tell. That's what car salespeople are trained for. They're trained to pick up those little words you say that you think are harmless. Man, I've been shopping for a week. All of this stuff is hurting you. And so when you stop talking and just sit at your computer and do the things that I'm telling you to do, you're going to find out deals are everywhere and and you're in control. But if you're going in there thinking you could actually negotiate or say or just get a car deal the old way, everything's going to seem overpriced. So RA Cave, I'm sorry to tell you, deals been out here, man. For those who know how to get deals, they're everywhere. For those who don't know how to get deals, they're nowhere. Go ahead, Dolan. Yeah, I agree. Let's go to TikTok again. Hold on. We're going to keep TikTok. 2024 Ed, looking to trade in for 2024 Explorer. So here's the thing. You're trading in a deep depreciation cycle. You've lost a ton of money in depreciation. You're still in the deepest depreciation cycle, which is that first 1 to 6 years. You're losing 20% the first year, 15%, and then you're looking to trade it in. You should be leasing. So if you're willing to hear more about that, I can't help you do something the wrong way, because you're going to look at me in 3 years and say, yeah, I bought the car. Now I'm looking to trade that in. Dag, Deshone, why it seem like I have so much negative equity? You have negative equity because you're a short-term person. You're not keeping your cars 8 years. You're not outliving the depreciation cycle, but yet you're not getting aggressive leases. So you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars to purchase these cars. You're losing it when you resell them back to the dealership. And then you're doing it all over again, over and over again. Meanwhile, somebody who's leasing these same vehicles, a Ford Edge, they were probably paying $400 a month, no money down. You've paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into that Ford Edge. Now you're looking to try to get that back and do it again with a Ford Explorer. Person, you should be leasing these cars. If you're not buying your cars to pay them off and outlive that depreciation, which is going to be heavy the first 6-7 years, I have something in my book and everything in my videos. I call it the 8-year rule. If you're not buying a car to get to that stage, that level of ownership, you should not be shopping for purchases. You should be shopping for aggressive leases. And then you're going to see, wow, now that my deal is on the right foundation, I'm actually saving thousands and thousands. You'll be able to see it. I don't think there's anything more liberating than a person who's been purchasing for years, putting all this money into these cars, who turns out and who turns around and starts leasing. Like, you're going to see all that money you were putting in the cars in your bank account now, and you're going to be amazed. When should I look for a vehicle? Before leaving a job or after starting a new one? If it's the same, yeah, probably before leaving a job if you're going to look to get a loan for it. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next question in TikTok, Instagram. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Send it in. All right, Facebook. My lease is due in December. I don't understand how to sell the lease. Just watch that part over, Peggy. I don't want to continue because there's people who've been on here. I don't want to listen. I know that there's only about 25 questions, 30 questions total that all of you could have. That's why you could sit on the broadcast and you could benefit, because someone else is going to ask the same question you have. But what I can't do is answer the same questions over and over again, because now I'm just doing a disservice to the people who've been on. So what I would tell you is watch wherever platform you're on. As soon as we end the show, we post the replay. So watch the replay and get the actual and get that part of the strategy, because I want to make sure the show's quality. I don't want people listening saying, "Dad, he answered that question 3 times." Okay, go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one in. Looking at buying a new car that just got redesigned. Okay. Should I wait to see how the new model rates before buying? Definitely. Oh, that's a great question. Who's heard that you should not buy a car the first year it comes out? If you've heard that you should not buy a car the first year it comes out, type of me in the comments. Y'all killing the likes on TikTok. Thank you so much. Y'all just keep tapping the screen as you come in. If you got time, every couple minutes, just throw some taps in there. Keep shooting those likes up. I appreciate everybody who's doing that. And I appreciate all the sharers. All right. So you see, got a bunch of people from every platform who's heard. Look, he's speaking facts. Make sure y'all lock in and invest in his resources. I appreciate you. Thank you, Linda. So now, a car being redesigned. Thank you, LA. A car being redesigned is not the same as new engine, new transmission, new steering system. Redesign could be the same components, in which case, Janine, I'm not worried about a car that's been redesigned that has the same components. But if it has new technology, new things they're experimenting with, certainly you might want to give it a year before you actually. You don't want to be the guinea pig. You don't want to be the guinea pig because you're rolling the dice. Could be great, could be horrible. Okay, great question. Go ahead. Next question, Dolan. Welcome to all the new people. If y'all don't know, this is Car Shopping Secrets. This is what I'm thinking about calling this show, because it's really, the things I teach aren't secrets, but they're not well known. And I would say I probably only know half of them because of being inside the car business. So I guess those would be secrets. And then the other half are just really learning finance and learning numbers and learning, the numbers. So those are not necessarily secrets. But yeah, I'm doing this live show, and I will always, for the time period, we're promoting my new book. So my new book is a digital book. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. So if you're like, Deshone, that's me, then this book is for you. 7 steps. It's called 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's a digital book because I'm going to update it every time I need to. For instance, y'all used to hear, some of you may know in my videos, one of the people who used to bid on our cars was Vroom. One of the people who used to be a marketplace we would shop with is Room. Room went out of business a few months ago. I had to have with a digital book. All I did, we went in, me and my team, we snatched Room out, boom. Everybody who had the book didn't have to go there and say, "Dag, Deshone, you sending us the Room," and you know they're out of business. We updated it, the file got updated, and we're able to keep it fresh. That's why the digital book is the way to go. So, but I'm doing 75% off as part of our official launch. And so it's normally $97. You can go to my TikTok bio and click that website. You won't leave the broadcast. You won't leave the show. Same thing on Instagram. My Instagram bio, you won't leave the show. Get your book. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can go to deshonsbook.com, or you can scan the QR code and get your 75% off. But you'll see there's a timer. Once that 30 minutes is over, book goes back to $97. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one in. All right. This is IG, Instagram. Should you buy extended coverage on a used car? Great question. So if the car has, listen, Diva asks, should you purchase an extended warranty when you buy a used car? Now this goes for a new car too. Even though you have a warranty when you buy a new car, some people like to extend it if they're going to keep it. You know, if you're going to keep it not 7. If you're going to keep it 8 to 10 years, some people tend to buy a warranty even longer than the factory. It depends on how expensive the car is to maintain. When something breaks. When something breaks, how expensive is it to fix? And how likely is it that something is going to break? So if you use that test I told you all about earlier in the show, where we go to Google and we do our quality check on the car, one of the steps we do to make sure to decide if we're going to get an extended warranty is we type in the year, the make, the model, repair cost. That's also in the book. We do this in day 6 because this is in the paperwork and protection step. If you see that your vehicle is high on the expense list in terms of when something goes wrong, it's expensive to fix, then the warranty is usually a great investment. But you want to get it from a dealership. Call a couple, get a price from the one that you're shopping with, get a price from a couple local dealers just to make sure that they're not overcharging you for it. But if you see your car is very low on the repair list of expense and the likelihood of things going wrong, like it's not a car that's known for things to go wrong, and when it does go wrong, it's not expensive, then a warranty is not going to really pay for itself. You go spend $3,000 on a warranty, you're probably not going to get that money back in the claims you put in. So it has everything to do. That's what you do to decide whether a warranty is worth it or not. You must know if this is a Mercedes-Benz and when something breaks, it's $2,000 or it's $1,000 minimum, then yeah, I'm going to get that extended warranty from a dealership, not from any of these side companies that go out of business every year. All right, go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next one in. All right, keep typing your questions, y'all. We on here for a couple more minutes. All right, yeah, I'm loving this. And listen, and we want to keep the show fast-paced. Our goal is to make sure that every time we do a show, now y'all gonna see it's certain things that I want to go deep with on it. I'm gonna do something soon called where I show y'all like this. It's a couple subjects that y'all see when we do a show. You're gonna be like, oh great, this ain't the time for questions. This is the time for me to just sit here and look at this. And I'll be asking y'all questions because y'all gonna be participating. But if we're doing straight up Q&A like this, we want to get through as many as possible. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot it up. Deshone, can you just go with me? All right, Dolan, you playing. Why you put that question up? Go ahead, next question, Dolan. Crystal, you didn't see somebody ask that same question. And what I said was, when you learn to shop from home, you don't need anyone with you. That's like saying, Deshone, can you come to my house and teach me to shop from home? We shop from home. And we don't spend more than 30 minutes in a car dealership. This stuff sounds, if you just jumped on the broadcast and you don't know me, you haven't used my stuff before, it sounds crazy. Deshone, how are you getting your best offer? But we have thousands of people doing it. They're using my system for shopping on home. The things I'm talking about in this live, the things I talk about in my social media videos, they took it and they're using it. The things that's in my book, they're using it. They're not deviating from it because it's an oil and water. My system and the way I'm teaching y'all to shop is nothing like the old way you've been shopping. It is oil and water. You can't mix them. You're either going to do it my way and try it and then say, Deshone, I love your way. I'm never doing it any other way. Or you're going to do it that old way and try to mix little things from my system, which is still the old way. So when I say follow it to the T, you're going to win following it to the T. And in which case you don't need anyone with you because you're at home and you're making your deals before you ever leave your house, whether you're leasing, purchasing, getting a new car, used car, that deal is made before you ever leave. If you're going to see a used car, you're not going there hoping to get money off. Now we do ask for a couple hundred off when we're there, but we don't leave our house unless we know it's already the lowest deal in the market. So even if they say no after I test drive that used car, he might say, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. And when you got the lowest deal in the market, you got honest people. So you get out there and you're like, hey, listen, I love the car. I just test drove it. I'm ready to make a deal. Take off another $750. And again, you don't get obnoxious because when you know the market, see, when you don't know the market, you insult the lowest price people. And you don't know because you think there's always more. Oh, it doesn't matter if he's the lowest in the market. There's more. And it's listen, and you end up walking away from the best deal in the market. But when you know the market, like you're going to know using what we talked about, you get out there, you say, listen, it's another $750. I'll take it right now. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I got that car priced to sell. It's the lowest in the market. And you're going to say, yeah, I know. Let's go. And sometimes they'll say, listen, just because you came out so quick. And a lot of times they'll say, look, I just posted it too. See, because remember what I told y'all earlier about the alerts we get. So a lot of times we're one of the first ones seeing the car and it hasn't had a chance to have a lot of people see it yet. But you get out there, you ask for another $750. Maybe they split it with you, you win. If they don't, if they're like, man, listen, it's the lowest price in the market. I know it is. You don't know. Dealers use a tool called V-Auto, so they know when their used car is the lowest price in the market. So, and if they say, look, I don't have any more money to give you, no problem. Let's go. You got a deal. It is the lowest price in the market. I just wanted to ask, either way we win. But that's the only time we're talking about numbers is on a used car. And before we ever get there, we already know it's a deal. You get what I'm saying? Go ahead, Dolan, shoot it up. All right, this is Facebook. I'm on my third Land Rover lease, and it's ending August at the 39th of the month. I'm guessing you meant 29th. I purchased your book and briefly read it and learned I could sell it to CarMax, being the most equity back. Okay, perfect. Following the steps. I have 12,000 miles per year. Thank you for purchasing the book, by the way, Crystal. I love it. I have 12,000 miles per year, and I'm currently at 28,000. Great. I will call Chase Land Rover. Chase doesn't have a third-party restriction unless they changed it. Don't quote me, but Mazda's leases are done through Chase, and I've helped so many people sell. My mother. My mother had a Mazda lease. My wife's best friend. So if Chase still doesn't have a third-party restriction, then you can literally just cash out. You don't have to take third-party restriction part of the book that I say. Go ahead. I'm gonna keep reading. To see if I have ended the lease clause. But if I don't, how do I sell to CarMax without being dishonest about owning it? That's fine. You won't. All you do is call them and set the appointment. They're gonna do all the details. They don't expect people to know what you know. They don't expect people to know the difference between a third-party restriction and a lease that doesn't have one. So they're working with, unfortunately, they're working with unaware buyers. So most of the time, they don't want to waste their time. But when you set your appointment up with CarMax and you tell them there's no third-party restriction, you'll be fine. Now, what you're going to have to do is if you want to replace it, Crystal, you're going to move into the next step of the book, which is shopping for your lease, because you're now going to time your transactions. You're not going to just go sell a CarMax unless you have a backup car. You don't need a car right away. Some of you like Deshone, I need to sell my old car and I need the new car the same day, or, that's fine. I teach you in the book how to time the transaction, because the thing about these buyers, CarMax, they'll be there for you, Crystal, 30 days from now. So when you go shop for your lease and shop your market and get your best lease, CarMax will be right there waiting for you, still waiting to pay the check, still waiting to cut you that check. and you just go there, pick up your check. You know, I've been there twice. Once for myself, I sold my Jeep to CarMax. They won the bid. And then I sold my mother's lease to CarMax and went down there again with her and my father. And but CarMax doesn't always win the bid. Sometimes it's Carvana, sometimes it's AutoNation, but it's easy, Crystal. Just keep following the steps in the book, and there's nothing else to think about. Just you're gonna see it's super simple. Sometimes people are like, yo, this seems too, am I gonna mess something up? This looks like I'm about to make $3,000. And they like, no, you just go there and they're like, okay, they do the paperwork, they write up the purchase order, they bring you a check, here you go, thank you so much. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Krista. I appreciate you too. Let's go. Oh man, let's go. Okay, look. All right, we got a lot of people who got the book on here. Thank you guys so much. Bought the book last week, shop Saturday, sent initial emails yesterday, and receiving several quotes today. Come on. I'm loving it. Everybody else, look, y'all, you hear what the people are saying, and if this is the way it's going to be going, you know, I'm loving this. That was a surprise. It's good to see people who have the book using it and winning with it. So definitely, if you haven't got the book and you're like, yo, what book are they talking about? It's my new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can get it in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio for 75% off for the next 30 minutes. Click the link, click that website, and then click the button that says my new book, 75% off. But you got to get there before the timer runs out, or once the timer runs out, it's $97, which is still great. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, go to deshonsbook.com or scan the QR code if you're like watching on the television. All right, go ahead. We got a couple more and then we'll wrap. Go ahead, Dolan. If I get a RAV4 at MSRP with no add-ons, is that so? I'm gonna cut you off right there. This is YouTube. Question from YouTube. You don't dictate what a good deal is. See, that's where we lose. See, if someone tries to dictate, all right, let me show you right here. Let me show you Kimberly. You don't know what the bottom is on a vehicle. When you are shopping for a new car or a lease, if you set out to buy, you're not used, y'all know we jumping from subject to subject depending on the question. We're talking about new cars and leases. When you go out there, you have no idea what the bottom price is. You can't say, oh, if it's MSRP, I get a good deal. If it's invoice price, I get a good deal. You don't know what rebates they have. You have no idea. I'm gonna show you Kimberly. This is why it's dangerous. Now I'm gonna use her as an extreme because on her, look, this is Kimberly. She's in my private group. She saved $20,000 off of her Maserati. $20,700 to be exact. As she was getting her offers, she had a couple dealers that wanted to take off $5,000. A couple dealers wanted to take off $7,000. Now she's probably getting excited. Oh, look, $7,000 off. Oh my God, this is amazing. Sitting at home, just watching these offers come through her computer. $12,000. Oh, this is it. Now, had she decided, you know what? $12,000, that got to be the best. She didn't I say, we had a big saying in my group. It's called trust the process. Trust the process means get 5 to 7 offers. 5 to 7 offers. She ends up getting an $86,961 Maserati for $66,000. Some of you, your best deal is going to be $7,000 off. Some of you, your best deal is going to be $3,000. Some of you might be shopping for vehicles that are so rare and exclusive. People are paying $100,000 over, like you're shopping for a Ferrari, where, or a Lambo, they might have a car where they're charging $100,000 over asking price and that people are paying it. Some people are paying it. And then you find a deal and the lowest bidder is sticker price, which means no problem. How much better did you do than the people who overpaid? But until you get the offers, you don't know what the bottom of the market is. And I will never assume it. I've been doing this since 2006. Deals are going to be different. I will never assume. When I go in and you can't take one deal and bring it to the next. Yo, I saved $20,000 on the Maserati. So next time I buy a BMW, I'm looking to save $20,000 on that too. No. Each vehicle has its own lowest price in the market, and that's how you shop individually. Go ahead. Shoot it up, Dolan. Next question. Wait, let me just leave that up. Let me just see if there's a second part of Ed's question. Can you throw that back up? I didn't know if it was a second part to his question. If not, that's okay. That was the biggest thing. Before you even go to the second part of the question, Ed, just make sure that you're not assuming what the bottom of the market is. You need to be getting at least 5 to 7 offers from independent dealers, and you're fine. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. It's okay. All right. I'm loving this, man. This is wonderful. Facebook. This is from Facebook. I bought 20 plus vehicles in my lifetime. Okay. I did it your way the last time I bought, and I never left home until I went to pick up my truck. I finally did it right. Listen, Mike. Listen, Mike. You have no idea, because when you said I bought 20 plus vehicles, right? I was in my mind. I always say, listen, you're not an expert because you bought 30 cars. You're an expert when you have seen all these transactions, but you nailed it, man. You came in straight. Like, to say that I bought 20, listen to that, y'all. This is a person who has probably bought more vehicles than most people on this call. I'm sure he wasn't lazy with it. I'm sure he was going in doing his best, but he looks at the new way that we shop from home, not going to you not leaving your house until you know I'm going to pick up my car. And he's like, I finally did it right. My man, congratulations. And look, now you tell everybody, tell your family. Now you could teach your kids, you could teach everybody in your house. This is how we car shop, y'all. So the beautiful thing is, when you got teenagers and you got young children, y'all, that never bought their car, if you teach them how this is how you buy your first car, they are never tainted with the bad advice and the old 20, 30, 40-year advice the way people are shopping. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. That was a good one, Dolan. Go ahead. Next one. Let's do a couple more, then we'll wrap. I'm having a good time. CEO, how do I purchase the book? It's in my TikTok bio. You won't leave the broadcast. It's a digital book, so it'll be in your inbox in literally seconds. Go to my TikTok bio, click the link, or go to my Instagram bio, click that website. You won't leave the broad, and just click the button that says 75% off, new book, and get your book. You'll have it immediately. If you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, go to deshonsbook.com and or scan the QR code. This is another question from Facebook, and then we'll go back to TikTok. What do you think about the 24-10 rule in regards to your strategy? I don't. I think that's a rule about affordability, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't. It's not something that I use. When I use in my book, I have something called the perfect budget calculator. Now, there's things that I've actually invented. Excuse me, I'm drinking a lot of water. When you look at affordability is based on, in my book, knowing what you can pay comfortably and buying below your budget. There's 2 reasons that I've seen people lose cars. And sometimes you can combine these reasons. And if you can avoid these 2 things, you pretty much never have a shot at losing a car besides a hardship. I can't say a hardship is a reason people lose a car, because it's a real hardship. It can't be avoided. You lost your job, someone passes away, God forbid. That's unforeseen. We can't control that. The 2 things that we can control is 2 reasons I see people lose their cars. They go over their budget. So you went in to spend $400 a month, you leave at $500 a month. Now you're uncomfortable financially. You knew your max budget was 4. And look, if you've done this, not if you've lost a car, if you've done this, if you've gone over your budget, just type I ain't gonna ask you to type, just you know who you are, and I understand this happens. We never want it to happen again. We should not be going over our budget. Not only should we not be going over, the way I teach you to shop, we shop below our budget. Second reason is you didn't get a quality car. You got a bad car. So you could have a car below your budget, Deshone, comfortable monthly payment, everything's good. Oh, it's a bad car, it's breaking down. Oh, this car is affordable, it's comfortable. Oh, shoot, it's a lemon. So those 2 reasons, even when it comes to luxury cars, some people could afford the payment and now things start to break on it and they can't afford the maintenance. So when it comes to, now you combine those 2, that's the repo recipe. Like, literally, I'm over budget in my car, and then the car starts to break down. So now I end up with a car that's in the shop I can't even drive it, but I still got a payment to make on it. And now the shop just told me, oh, I need $2,000 to fix it. So the way I teach you to shop is to always purchase below your budget and then using my strategies to find a quality car. If you get a quality car below your budget, that's what I teach. I don't know about the 24-10 rule. If it's working for people, God bless them, but I'm not that familiar with it. Go ahead. This one's from Instagram. Would it be okay to go test drive a car but stay quiet? Use your techniques of not saying the wrong thing. Yep, just rest, drinking, and go back to shop from home. Yeah, that's it. That is literally the formula. When you are shopping for a new car or a lease, not with a used car, we talked about this earlier. You are going to go in and test drive that car. That's the last thing you're going to do before you actually end up getting offers on it. Because that in my book, that's in step 4, which is the shopping step. Shopping is deciding what you want, not buying it. When you're shopping, you're deciding what you want. So once you test drive a car with a lease, I always tell people have 3 vehicles that you like. Because the first vehicle you shop for, you might get all those offers and it has a bad lease program on it. So many of our people have gone to their second choice because they'd be like, Deshone, I wanted a Range Rover. Range Rover lease was stupid. So I went and I got me a Lexus truck. Or I went and I got me the Mercedes that had a better lease program. That's fine. You can't control the lease program. So what you're going to see when you're shopping for a lease is a dealer could be discounting the car for you by thousands. If the lease program's bad, it's still going to be over 1.5%. But yeah, when it comes to it, that's what you do. We are test driving. Hey, I'm here to test drive. I'll teach you in the book how to call, set it up. Hey, I'm here for my test drive. You're there for 20 minutes. All right, listen, I enjoyed it. Thank you so much. If I decide this is the car for me, I'll certainly give you a call. No, hey, listen, can I just tell you about the offers? No, thank you. I'm good. You have to be adamant on that. And you'll know now, if you sit down and you start talking numbers, you know, man, I ain't following Deshone's system. At least now you'll know. I don't want you to do it. I want you to like force yourself. Nah, man, listen. Nah, look, because what you're going to do is you're going to go home and you're going to talk to multiple people like him. He wants you to sit down there so he can get that one-on-one with you. No, we're not doing 1-to-1. We're doing 1 to 25. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Test driving, not rest drinking. Oh, no problem. I figured that's what you meant. I knew you. He said I meant test driving, not rest drinking. Listen, I know. And this is, if you ever have an issue getting your book at the end, it's only because that happens. We type fast. We switch a cup. That's why whenever you purchase the book, you'll see there's a support email. If that book is not in your inbox in literally less than 10 minutes, then it's usually an issue with the way you type the email. Just email the support and we'll make sure that you get the book direct to you. But yeah, no problem. I'm with you. All right, peace and blessings. I'm pre-approved for a vehicle. Should I tell the dealership up front or no? Yeah, Gina, you know what? I like it. I know people will say, yo, don't tell the dealership. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to let the dealership see if they can beat your rate. But you got to, whatever dealership you ended up buying from, when you find that car that has the best price, you go lock it up. And then you say, listen, I got my own financing. Here's my offer. But if you guys could beat it, then I'll give you the loan. See, that creates a much better experience because what you're going to lose from some dealers is they won't even sell you the car for that price if you don't give them a shot to beat your rate. They won't sell you the car. So when you go in and say, yeah, I got pre-approved, but if y'all could beat it, I'll do the loan with y'all. Now you've given them, you see, you don't lose anything by doing that. In fact, what you're going to see sometimes is they'll call you and say, good news, we got you a better interest rate than what you got. See, what we are trying to avoid is that having the dealer get us our only interest rate and then overpaying. People said, no, I don't want that. I hear these dealers overcharge for the rates and they making money on them. So then they went and started getting pre-approved and said, no, I'm not going to let the dealer even have a try. But no, you don't want to do that. You want multiple people bidding for your finance rate. And what you'll see is if you do it within a 45-day period, experience calls that the rate window, it's only going to weigh on your credit as one hard inquiry. So whatever one hard inquiry would have lowered your credit score, if they did a hard inquiry to get you to pre-approval, you already have it. But if you could do multiple hard inquiries within that rate window period, and you can go to Google and you can actually verify this, because sometimes people say, Deshone, is this true? Let me show you, and then we'll get ready to wrap. But I want to show y'all this. If you actually go to Experian, let's just Google. Hold on. You go to google.com and just type in rate window, rate shopping, cars, Experian. And you'll see Experian has an article called What is Rate Shopping? And it says it right on here. And it gives you a window of time where you can shop and have multiple people. So it says the FICO score. Now the FICO score window is 14 to 40 days. So just read it and just know this is on the credit bureau site. This is on the credit bureau site. So do it right, but let these people bid for your business, because you never know if they can get you a point or half a point or 2 points better on the interest rate. They'll save you tons of money. All right. Okay. All right. Listen, we've been on for an hour and a half. Listen, we're going to wrap, but I hope to continue this with y'all. If anybody has my book, I will certainly be continuing with you, but I'll also be doing these live shows pretty regularly. I'm going to send these out. We'll eventually be promoting them. I'm going to promote the exact time so you guys know. That way, if you see somebody in their car shopping, you can say, hey, this guy, he does this show at this particular time. Most likely it's going to be 12 Eastern time. And we're thinking about doing a second live show, 3 p.m. Eastern time. That way. But what you're going to also see is we're going to be rebroadcasting these. So because, people want to watch it later, and people get just as much value watching it later, because the same question you asked is the same question they were going to ask. So listen, if you want everything I teach in one spot, you want this arsenal of information that you can use step by step, go grab my new book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. And click the link in my TikTok bio. You'll see a website there. Same thing with the Instagram bio. And it's 75% off as part of our book launch. It's normally $97. You can go to deshonsbook.com if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, scan the QR code. However you get it. If you get it before that timer hits 0, you get the 75% off. After that, it goes back up to $97. So, all right, we will be back. We'll be back tomorrow. Meet me at noon. And the book, of course, the book, somebody said, is the book for leasing too. The book is everything. The book is leasing, it's purchasing, it's buying new, it's buying used, it's selling leases, it's selling cars you owe money on, it's paying cash, it's extended warranty. It's a 7-step system. So it's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships, which y'all know, everybody who learned from me, we avoid these dealerships. We're not in there for any more than 30 minutes. So it's a digital book. So every time I update it, when you open the new file, you'll see, oh, shoot, this changed. That's because it's updated. If I update a script, because you got my scripts in there, and there's some things in the book where I link you to a video, anything I update, we update it, and your file will automatically be updated. So you never have to worry about the book becoming obsolete and being like, man, it worked for me in 2024, but now I'm in 2025. No, we'll always be updating it to make sure that it stays relevant. You don't need to go buy volume 5. All right, y'all, here we are, 2027. Now I want you to get volume 5. No, one time. So go grab your copy, 75% off. Even if you missed the countdown, $97 is still incredible value. We sold a lot of copies at $97, but why not get 75% off? So, all right, I'll be back tomorrow at noon. Set your calendars. Set your timers. If you want to meet me and have some more questions answered, we'll be back tomorrow for a show tomorrow at noon Eastern time. And certainly appreciate all of you, man. Thank you so much. God bless y'all. And let's keep saving this money. Let's keep unlearning and relearning. God bless y'all. Yes, welcome. Let's go. Anybody who's car shopping, we are live, and I'm about to do some very, very detailed Q&A. So I want you to come in. Welcome to Car Shopping Secrets. This is my personal live. If you don't know me, my name is Deshone the Auto Advisor. I spent 14 years in the car business, 5 years with Mercedes, 5 with General Motors. And I left the car business after COVID in 2020. And since then, I've been teaching everyone willing to listen how to save thousands on cars. We've amassed a little over 2 million followers across 4 platforms. Thank God. And we are very, very serious about the money you save. So if you're serious about the money you save, I want you to start typing your questions. We are live on 4 platforms: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So let's get to it. Send your questions in and let's get busy. And you know what I like to say, I'm going to answer as many as fast as possible. And you don't have to worry about me not being detailed. We're going to be detailed as possible. Just make sure that you are ready to implement what I'm about to tell you. Also, make sure that you are well, if you don't know, this live is sponsored by my new book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's a digital book. It's a 5-star rated book on Goodreads.com, and it gives you the 7 step. Everything I teach in my videos, if you're like Deshone, I don't want to watch 40, 50, 60 videos all over social media. Get my book now. It's in my TikTok bio. It's in my Instagram bio, and you can get it for 75% off as part of our official launch. So let's get to it. Start shooting your questions in, and we'll answer them as quick as possible. All right. Yeah, I see Instagram coming in. Love it. All right. Let's see where the first question is going to come from. Let's give everybody time to type. And here's what I know about these lives. We've been doing them for a couple days now. Somebody's going to ask you a question. So even if you're driving, if you can't type, then just feel free to just sit and listen. And I guarantee somebody's going to ask the same question that you would have had. Cheetah, this is the man to listen to. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. 100%. Wait, I don't even think we're up on. Let's get clear. All right. Okay. Is the same 1.5% used for both leases and finance? Nope. 1% rule. The 1.5% rule is based on the 1% rule. The 1% rule for great leases has been around for decades. Savvy people who got great lease deals always knew if you could get a lease deal and your payment was 1% of the MSRP, you stole the car. So if you were looking at a $40,000 MSRP and your lease payment was 400 or less, it was a steal. Don't ask any question. I still call that a steal. Now, a deal is between 1 and 1.5. I had to create the 1.5% rule because as I started making more social media videos about leasing, I saw a lot of people going out there and leasing vehicles because they were like, Deshone, I didn't know I should be leasing. They started leasing and then they started overpaying for leases and they didn't know. So we put that 1.5% rule in there for as an indicator of when you're paying too much for a lease. If you do the math and your lease payment, you got to get your quotes, your offers with only first month's payment down, 12,000 miles per year. You can adjust the mileage and add, if you do 15,000, if you do 20,000, even if you do 10,000, adjust it after you pick the best offer. If that offer is more than 1.5% of the MSRP, you're paying too much for a car you're giving back. That's the rule. Yes, 1.5. You got it. I want to put it under my business. I want a Cadillac IQ. This one's from YouTube. We're on 4 platforms, so make sure everybody's sharing, tag somebody because you don't want your friends to get mad at you because you did not share this information with them. Will you save money on buying a car? Oh, no, let's go back to logic. I want a Cadillac IQ electric vehicle priced at $150,000. If I have an 80 payback score and 720 credit score, will I qualify for financing if I put 20% down? I'm not sure. All you could do is actually see. When you're talking about if you're trying to put the car in your business name only without signing for it as a personal guarantor, I don't teach that. So you should find out if somebody's trying to tell you, because what I've seen, I've spent many years in the business with General Motors. They had a big commercial line, lots of pickup trucks, lots of cargo vans, passenger vans. When I got to Mercedes-Benz, they have a big commercial line. I very rarely saw people putting cars in their business name with no personal guarantor. I remember one guy, he had like millions and he had a fleet and he had to get us a lot of documentation to get it done. But anybody else just coming in. But I'm not saying it can't be done. What I am saying is whoever told you you can put a car in your name and your business name without personally signing for it, go learn from them how to do that. But when it comes to putting in your business name, like hundreds of people I've seen regular, what you're doing is you're shopping for your car the way I teach, because nobody overpays for cars like business people. Like these people, these influencers that y'all are seeing buy these cars, the the amount of money they're overpaying for these cars is actually scary. And so you need someone who's going to show you how to pay less for the car, because that's your business's money. But then what you put the car in your business name and you're the personal guarantor, because the bank needs somebody who they can go after if the business doesn't pay, especially if it's a new business. And let's add one more thing to this. Keep the questions coming, y'all. I'm gonna try to get through as many as I can in an hour. I want to add something to this. You know how many people have reached out to me saying, Deshone, I want to put a car in my business name. And I say, hey, what's the business? Oh, I work from home. I got a consulting company. So when are you doing business mileage? When are you actually going to be doing, oh, well, I just, I'm not going to help you get audited. Not going to do it, because any tax benefits you think you're getting, I'm not giving you tax advice. You should have a great accountant if you're planning on doing this. Any tax benefits you're thinking about getting, when they come and audit you and say, okay, we need to see what you did. You wrote off, you wrote off $7,000 a year in car payments, and then, all right, what are you using that vehicle for? If you don't have proof that you're on the road and that you're going to see clients and that you're actually using that vehicle for business purposes, you're going to be in trouble. It's going to be the new PPP loans. The day of reckoning will come. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, let's keep the questions coming. This one's TikTok. What about for real estate or hairstylists? Can I get a lease for business? That's very common. Very common. I had tons of realtors, especially with Mercedes, tons of realtors come in. You put the car in your business name, you personally sign for it. Just make sure, please make sure, everybody who plans on putting a car in your business name, here's what I need you to do. Before you even go to buy it, call the finance man. I found this out the hard way. I work from, and this just goes to show it doesn't matter how good how much you take your business seriously. Some things we don't know. So I had a customer come into Mercedes. He real estate developer out of Brooklyn. Heavy guy, young guy. He got an S-Class. Puts the car in his business name. He previously had a Range Rover. He's had tons of cars. He puts it in his business name. He's the personal guarantor. That normally makes the car only show up on your business. It doesn't show to your debt, on your personal debt to income. So when you go to apply for credit, if you go to buy a house, if you go to get a car, they won't see that that loan or that lease is coming out of your debt to income. In the case of Mercedes-Benz Financial, they still showed it. They still show, even if you're only the personal guarantor, they still show it. So you want to call the finance manager and you want to ask whatever brand you're thinking about buying, hey, if I put the car in my business name and I'm the PG, personal guarantor, will it show on my personal credit or not? And let them tell you no before you go through it. I learned the hard way. He was not happy. I mean, he understood. I didn't know, but it wasn't a good day. And that's my man. We're still very close. So he didn't blame me. It's just something we never saw coming. So, all right, my balance, this one's YouTube. My balance is $4,000 left. Oh, try to listen, in order to get the question answered, you got to type it all in one shot. You can't do continuations of questions. All right. So make sure you send your questions in one shot. Okay, this is, I'm not seeing the Instagram questions. Hold on. Let me see if I can go on Instagram on my phone. It's not showing me anybody on Instagram. That's weird. We've been having a little trouble with Instagram today. We had technical difficulties going live on Instagram earlier, and that kind of threw our, that's weird. All right. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me just see if I could get to Instagram. I don't want to leave you guys out. Okay. I'm a check in from one of my, that's what I'll do. I'll check in from one of my secret accounts. See if I can see all the questions. All right, here we go. There we go. Let me put on do not disturb. All right, we got you, Instagram. Hold on, we coming to you. Okay, perfect. So from now on, I'll be seeing them on my phone. All right, so will you save money buying a car through Costco or Consumer Reports? No, Ira. I'm gonna tell you why. Let me turn this volume down because y'all can hear that. I'm gonna tell you why. Who has a Costco program? Who has a special? Who has Ford X Plan, Mercedes Benz, Mercedes Benz? What is it called? Fleet pricing. Any special GM supplier pricing, General Motors supplier pricing? Any of these things that you think actually should make, and they should make the car buying process easy and get you your best deal. Any of those things, you can't trust them. I'm going to tell you why. You can't trust that the dealer is going to give you the right price, and you can't trust that there's no rebates and hidden incentives that you're not getting. This is all in my book. It's called, if y'all don't know, this whole live is sponsored by my new book. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's a digital book, so you never have to worry about it being out of date. If something changes a year from now, I update the file. You open that book a year from now, everything's relevant. But that book has the 7 steps that I use to teach hundreds, thousands now, how to purchase from home, lease from home, sell their leases, get bids from banks, credit unions. Everything's in there, and you can get it for 75% off for the next 30 minutes. While you're on the broadcast, go to my TikTok bio. You won't leave the broadcast. Grab your 75% off. It'll be in your inbox in minutes. All of this is in there. If you're on Facebook, go to deshonsbook.com, click the link, or if you're on YouTube, scan the QR code, whatever you need to do. Instagram, it's in my bio. Get your 75% off so you can use this stuff and you don't pay the normal $97 for the price. So the reason why you don't know if they're giving you the real price, quite honestly, you could walk in and you say, hey, I got the Costco pricing. And they say, well, your price is $42,000. They just make up a price. Some people will. Or if they have $2,000 in rebates you don't know about, they'll give you the price and hold the rebates back. What's the solution to this, Deshone? You stay at home and you get multiple offers. And when you tell them everything you qualify for, you are going to get multiple offers. I teach 2 ways to do this. Really, I teach 1 way. It's in my book. I do it online. But if you're not going to get the book, here's how you could do it manually. You get 1 price from 1 dealer. You test drive. Once you find a car you love, you get 1 price and you say, okay. And I wouldn't even get that price while I'm there. Y'all know my rule of thumb. How many minutes do we spend in a car dealership? Let's see how many people know. How many minutes do we spend in a car dealership? Maximum, absolute maximum. And this includes our test drive. Let's see. Anybody know? Let me see. We might have all brand new people on here. We might have a bunch of people on here that's on here for the first time with me. So I don't want to make any assumption. Answer is 30 minutes. We are never spent. You got it, Chris. I see you, Chris. Leashes in motion, 10. Listen, we're not to 10 yet. Quite actually, if you're getting your car, if you're buying a new car and the dealer delivers it, you could spend 10, but I don't want you to rush your test drive. So that's the only reason I don't say 10. On new cars, you must test drive the car before you get offers. On used cars, you do it after. But so back to the way you're going to get the best deal. Back to the way you're going to make sure you get the best price. You tell the deal, you test drive that car, you come on home and you call the dealer and say, hey, thanks for the test drive. Can you get me an offer on that? You give them everything they need to give you an offer, not your credit. Follow me. There is no one who needs your credit to give you an offer. If they tell you that, they're lying. And hang up and go to the next dealer. Because what you're going to do is you're going to be calling multiple dealers asking for the sales manager. Just tell them, hey, I'm looking at this car. I like it. I'm going to give you all the detail. If you could give me an offer, I'm ready to make a decision right now. You do that with 5 sales managers and you'll see how different the prices are. It's going to blow your mind. You won't believe. And it'll expose how overpriced some dealers are. Now, in the book, what I teach is a strategy called the 25 to 5 strategy, where we connect with 25 dealers online in 20 minutes. Deshone, it sounds crazy. It's not crazy when you go to their website and you copy and paste what I give you to copy and paste. It's very simple. So we're copying and pasting. And then out of that 25, what we've seen, This only, listen, y'all, this is not for used cars. Different strategy for used cars. What we've seen is for new cars and leases, 25 dealers, about 10 to 12 are going to have a car you're looking for. It's good for you because when you're shopping out of that many dealers' inventory, you don't have to worry about, oh, no one has the car. I went to this one dealer, he didn't have what I want. I went to this one, he didn't have. When you're shopping out of 25, oh, probably about 10 are going to have something you want. And your goal is to get 5 offers. So we go 25 connections, 5 offers, and out of those 5, somebody's going to win the bid and blow everybody else away. And when you see it, you're going to say, dag, even with my Costco discount, that dealership was trying to rip me off. Even with my special pricing, those 2 dealers was trying to overcharge me. Those 3 dealers were trying to overcharge me. The only way you can see this is by looking at multiple offers. All right. Let's go. All right. We got a lot of questions coming in. Let's go to Instagram. Hold on. I'm thinking about trading in my BMW X2 on a lease for a Tesla Model Y. Would you recommend trading the BMW in on a lease or selling it to another party like CarMax as an example? So you can't trade a lease in. You can only sell it. You can't end the lease early. You signed a contract saying I'm going to pay 36 months of payments, or 39, never 48. That's paying. Why don't we do 48-month leases? We're paying too long on a car we're giving back. It's too many payments for a car you're giving back. You eliminate the goal for a lease is to pay pennies on the dollar for the car you're driving, drive a phenomenal car for a very low monthly payment. Once we give them the 4-year leases, we can't do that anymore. It's too long. So the only way to get out of a lease early is to sell it, which means you're going to do what I call the equity assessment. This is step 2 in our process. It's a 7-step process. Step 7 is delivery. Step 2, equity assessment. I need to find out how much I owe. I call my bank. I get my payoff. And then I go to the online car buying sites, CarMax. This takes 20 minutes. Nothing, just so y'all know, my whole car buying process of getting below market deals, I'm not going to spend more than 60 minutes. Now, I'm a master at this, but even the people I've taught, it's an hour and a half from home. This is quick. By the time somebody's visiting your second dealer, we've already got our best deal. We're not spending hours shopping for cars. Not once we decide what we want. But so you call, you get your payoff from your bank, and then you visit CarMax. You get an offer from them. If you're leasing, you must put when they ask you, are you leasing? Do you own it? Or are you financing? You must put own. Okay, I'll explain that later, but you must put own. You don't want to trigger something on their website. You need to find out what these companies will pay you in cash for your vehicle so you can figure out, can you sell it and get out clean, or can you sell it and possibly make a profit? People have made lots of money selling leases, especially over the last 3 years. But even now, people are still making $2,000, $3,000. So what you do is you get those offers: CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation Sell My Car, and there's one more, Car Guru Sell My Car. And if you see that all those offers are higher than your payoff, you can get out. If those offers are lower, you're going to pay to get out, which means, and most people are going to say, no, I don't want to lose money to get out. So that's what you need to do before you decide to make a move. Where do we get a copy and paste link from? Terry, that's all in my book. All my scripts are in there, all my templates, everything is in my book. You're not talking when you use my stuff. You're either only talking to managers or you're using my copy and paste templates. We're not talking to salespeople ever, because who'll be honest, who's not a good negotiator? Type me if you are not a good negotiator. Be honest, we're not judging anybody on here. We are actually we're going to make sure you win. But all right, so Dominic, not a good negotiator. Look, Bawala, okay. Rachel, not a good negotiator. Look, Danielle, not a good negotiator. Look, seven. I don't want to mess your Instagram. All right, so we got lots of people on here that are not good negotiators. So in order for you to win, here's what you're going to master. You could do it my way, you could do it your way, but here's what you need to do. Instead of going 1-to-1, which is a losing battle, I can negotiate. I would never do 1-to-1 because it eliminates my ability to shop the whole market. Here's how you save thousands of dollars when you're a bad negotiator or a good negotiator. You must master the art of multiple offers. See, when you put multiple people against each other, you're not negotiating with them. They're negotiating really with each other. Who's going to win? And you'll find that you'll save thousands of dollars way quicker than you could ever have going back and forth with one dealer. So you want to make sure that you are using multiple offers in everything that you do. And that's what my system is about. Now you could do it your way or you could do it my way as long as you do it. Just don't do the old way. That one-on-one is a losing battle because you always leave hoping you did okay. You always leave wondering, could I have gotten some more money? With multiple offers, you never. And that's how you buy everything else. If you think about it, that's how you buy TVs. That's how you buy groceries. That's how you buy anything. It's always multiple offers, and then you pick the best one. That's how we don't have any buyer's remorse. All right, this is YouTube. Reem, I have a 2019 1500 for about a year. Chevy 1500 for about a year and some change, 700 a month with Alpha warranty. I'm thinking about leasing. I have about 30K left. What should I do? Always equity assessment. Do the equity assessment. That's going to tell you, listen, when you figure out you got 10 grand of negative equity, you're going to park it real quick because you can only do 3 things if you have negative equity. 2 will get you a new car, 1 doesn't. There's only 2 people who can't get a new car. One is super bad credit. You need to wait. You don't need to make a move if your credit's so bad you're going to destroy yourself by making a move. Now, the second person, these are the only 2 times I see people who want cars who don't leave with cars. Second person, you can have an 800 score. If you have 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 negative equity, you can't go and do a no money. You can't put that type of money on your next car because you have to take into account the loan to value ratio. So you can't buy a $40,000 car and just slap 15 grand of negative equity on that. The bank's not going to approve it. You would have to get a great discount off that car through multiple offers and rebates. There's certain brands out there that have big, huge rebates. If you're looking at one of them, maybe you save 7 grand, 8 grand, 10 grand, and then you can slap that negative equity. But that's why before you ever, if you sitting there and you're like, man, you know what? I think I want to lease or I think I want to switch my car. It's always an equity assessment. I need to know, can I make money selling this car right now? Or am I in a negative position? In which case I gotta chill out. Now, if you got a small amount of negative equity, you might just want to pay the difference. Always sell to the highest bidder. Get all those offers I talked about from the online companies. And if there's $1,000 or $2,000 shortfall, just pay the difference so you could do a clean deal. But if not, then you have to transfer that. Transferring it is more difficult because now a dealer's not going to pay you what those companies are going to pay you, especially not a dealer who's going to win the bid. See, your favorite word working with me is going to be bids. Everyone must win the bid. So when that car you're shopping for, whatever dealer wins the bid, that means they beat every other dealer. They're not going to turn around and pay you the same price CarMax offered you for your car. They can only pay what it's worth to them, which means if you had negative equity over here going with CarMax, it's going to be more going with a dealer. But that's just what you have to deal with. That's why, y'all, I want you to get out of negative equity and stay out of it. It really does make your deals not impossible. We do them all day long, but it does make it more difficult. All right, let's go. Let's keep them coming. Hold on, let me go to my window. Should I buy a new car or CPO? That depends on budget, Valerie. That's always the question. If you can afford both, if you guys can get a car, anybody who wants to, you're buying a car and you're going to keep it long term, y'all know my rule. How many years should you be keeping your car minimum if you're buying? I'm sure we got a couple people in here who knows the rule. If you are purchasing a car, what's the minimum number of years? All right, Danny, good job. 8. So because the reason it's 8, I see, man, I got a lot of people, y'all getting quick. It's the reason it's 8 is because at 8, you've outlived the depreciation drop. Your biggest expense when you're buying a car is the one you can't see. It's depreciation. You're losing thousands of dollars whether you drive the vehicle or not. If you drive it, you lose more. If you're a high mileage driver, you lose even more in depreciation. So you want to make sure that you outlive that, or you shouldn't buy. The only way to outlive it is you got to get to that 8-year mark. Now, if you're not keeping it, if you're like Deshone, I'm not keeping the car 8 years. then you should be shopping for an aggressive lease offer, a great lease deal, not a regular lease deal, not these deals that say, oh, you need money down, an aggressive lease deal. So once you do that, you'll be able to now hold on. I got so into that I lost the question. Oh yeah. So CPO, Valerie was asking, should I buy a new car CPO? So if you're buying and you're keeping, the only question to ask is, what is my budget? If I could afford it, let's say Deshone, I could afford both. Okay. I have two things in my book to help you make this decision. If you are only buying a new car every 8 to 10 to 12 years, maybe you want a new car. That's fine. You won't lose. Some people say, Deshone, even if I'm buying a new car, I mean, even if I only buy a new car every decade, I still want even more value. I'm gonna get a pre-owned one. That's fine too. That's a personal preference. If you could afford both, then it comes down to personal preference. All right. Only other option would be to buy one direct from auction. You can. That's a professional's game. I don't talk to the public, you guys, about going into auctions. That's a professional's game. It's like if we were buying houses, I wouldn't be talking to y'all about foreclosures. That's a group, for small group, it'd be like 30, 40 of us, and all we do is buy cars from the auction. Now that's a professional's game. You could lose your shirt, but you could also, when you learn that game, you could also get some deals, but it's a risky business. All right. To everybody who just jumped on, welcome. If you don't know, my brand new book, my digital book is called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's everything I teach in one place. It's what I've used to help thousands of people around the country now. I've been blessed to help thousands of people around the country like you get ridiculous deals. Like, take a look at this one here. Give you an example, and then we'll get to some more questions. So this is a deal most people are not going to. Now, let's see. What I like about Bonita here, look at the year, y'all. That was 2022. Now, she got her Kia Telluride, 2022. You know what people were paying for Kia Telluride in 2022? Dangerous. She leased that vehicle. She got it for $600 a month, and look at her. She said, I put $600 down. That's it. Gave them $600, drove off. People were leasing that same vehicle for $900 a month. People were paying $1,100 a month to own these vehicles, putting ridiculous money down. She came in, got a dealer, won the bid, drove off in 600. So, and I show you that because while people were out here and there was blood in the streets, some of you may have made some bad deals during the pandemic. We were winning. We've been making deals since 2021. So just know, if we were getting killer deals back then, what do you think we're getting now? Now we got people like Greg. He got $527 a month on a $56,000 Kia EV6 win. Tote got $690 a month on a $54,000 BMW i4 e-drive. So this is what we do, y'all. Like, I am the deal maker, but bigger than me, I love the fact I can teach it. See, y'all know, Deshone, obviously you can make deals, but can the people who learn from you get man, that's the same. These are the same deals I would be making, because my system is like McDonald's. As long as you don't deviate from it, you just listen to what I'm telling you and move like I'm telling you, it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. All right. And I've been able to work with enough people around the country to know that. All right, let's keep it going. Let's get back to the question. Of course, we teach about negative equity, Dominic. That's a big part of a lot of people who are coming to me and saying, yo, Deshone, I've been buying for years. I got told I should never lease. Always got negative equity. I see what the problem is, man. I believe some bad information. Now I want to get into leasing. So some people are going to have negative equity and they're going to need to switch that over to a lease. Absolutely. All the time. No, the book is for everything, Hockey. That it's leasing, it's everything. See, it's high mileage drivers. How many high mileage drivers we got on here? Let's say you drive over 20,000 miles a year. Just type HM. I always tell high mileage drivers, type HM. It's for you too. I got 3 strategies in there for high mileage drivers. One's a long-term strategy. That means you're going to buy a car, keep it 8+ years, and then 2 are for short term. If you're not keeping your cars 8+ years, you need to have leasing as part of your strategy, either a high mileage lease or something I call 2 cars, 1 car payment, where you can measure it, where you can balance it out. So in order for me to help the public, in order for me to help you, I got to have something in that book no matter what your situation is. And that's why it's a digital book, because it links you. Y'all remember Mario Brothers? Remember the warp zones? The book is like warp zones. So you'll get to a point when I ask you, if you're buying and you're keeping your next car 8 years, click this, and then it'll warp you to a section of the book that keep you on that path. If you're buying and you're keeping less than 8 years, click here and it'll warp you to that. And that's all throughout the book. That way you're never reading something that's not applicable to you. You're not sitting there reading like, oh, this section isn't for me. It's a path for you. All right, so you can get it for 75% off. Normal price is $97. It's worth thousands. And my goal is for it to be the most valuable book you ever bought, or at least one of them. But if you can get it before the timer runs out, you can get it for 75% off. So just click my TikTok bio, click the picture, go to my Instagram bio, click that link, and grab your 75% off. If you're on Facebook, just click the link that says deshonsbook.com and grab your 75% off. All right, let's go. Oh, thanks, Valerie. Enjoy it. Make sure you send me your success story too. Yes, I'm in New Jersey. Yep, absolutely. I want a lease this time, short term. Good. That's what we want. That's what we want. Just know who you are and put your deal on the right foundation. All right, let's go to Instagram. Let's see. All right. Deshone, I got a 24 Explorer online price. Oh no, looking at a 24 Explorer online price is 38 grand, but 23 is 37 grand. How much lower can I go on the 23s? They're trying to get rid of. Thanks in advance. So if the car is the same and you are buying it, I get multiple bids and I just go to 25. I get 5 offers, because that dealer that's holding on to the 23 that you see, when you connect with 25 dealers, you're going to see that maybe out of that 25, maybe 7 of them have a 23 they want to move. And one of them is willing to blow it out like crazy. That's how Kimberly, some of you saw Kimberly's post. She saved 20 grand on her Maserati. She just got this. Look at the date. This was February 21st of 2024. She saved 20 grand. Why? Because she reached out to 25 dealers. One of them had a Maserati that she wanted. It was a 23, and they took off 20 grand for it because they wanted to move the car. She ended up getting it right here. This is it. And that, in fact, she got a different one, because that dealer that wanted to take off 20 grand, a dealer closer said, all right, I'll beat that offer. And she ended up getting this one. But if you connect with enough dealers, then you'll find that dealer who's like, listen, I really got to move that 23. You might be talking to a dealer right now that has that 23, but they're not desperate enough yet. They're not hurting enough yet. You want a dealer that you can connect with and they look and say, man, we need to move this 23 because we don't want to be stuck with it. So that's why it's always about multiple offers. I don't ever want, listen, don't ever ask me about one car. Deshone, man, I'm looking at this car. How do I get them down? That's not what I teach. You're out leveraged. All the power's in their hands. You talk to me about Deshone, these are my top 3, 4 cars. Deshone, this is my top offers. It's always multiple offers. And that's the only way I could talk to you. I can't mix my system, which is water, clean, smooth, crystal, refreshing, beautiful, uplifting. Like, that's my system. I can't mix that with oil, this old way you shop, which is 1-to-1. And, I just like that one car. Let me get them down. No. That car, there's plenty duplicates of that car. And what you need to do is you need to be in a position where you can see those duplicates and you can see who's going to sell it for the most. That makes sense? If that makes sense, everybody type a 1. If you're clear on that, that's the difference between negotiating 1-to-1 and negotiating 1-to-many. 1-to-many is getting bids. 1-to-1 is old, traditional, out leverage, buyer's remorse. Always wonder if I could have paid more. Could have paid less. We don't do that. My pleasure, Reem. I see you. All right, let's go. Let's keep the questions coming. How do you get multiple bids? I said that earlier, Anna. You could do it my way, which is in my book. I connect with 25 dealers online. We let them know what we want, and then you use all my scripts to keep the emails moving and keep it on your agenda. If you're not going to use my book, which is in my TikTok bio, 75% off, you could download it. It'll be in your inbox in 3 minutes. Then what you need to do is find the car you want, come home, call at least 5 local dealers, ask for the sales manager, and you need to get offers from the sales manager. I would only speak to the sales manager. And this will only work until a lot of people start doing it. Because after a while, people are gonna be, yo, why is all of a sudden all these people calling asking for the sales manager? So, that what I teach is unlimited. 8,000 people can do it, and we're never gonna, it's not gonna mean anything. This whole calling the sales manager thing, that's going to get eventually, if hundreds and hundreds of people are doing it, they're going to eventually start screening the calls and saying, all right, what's it in reference to? And so you could use it now. That's what I call the manual way. But those are the two ways to get multiple offers that I know of. If you could figure another way, do it. But my way is the easiest, because my way takes 20 minutes, and you're sitting in your living room or you're sitting at work, and all these companies bidding for your business. All right, let's go to all right, so we got questions on every platform. All right, hold on. What credit limit do you need to lease a car? Is it easier to lease or buy with a 680 score with $5,000 down on a used Audi? See how you've locked into one car? Now, if you're talking about any used Audi, but as long as you're not talking about like one used Audi you saw. And the rule of thumb growing is, if you're keeping the car 8 years, you buy. If you're not, you lease. So you got to get out of where you are, which is, all right, should I buy this used Audi or should I lease? The question is, how many years am I keeping the next car? That's what you ask yourself. Everybody on here, answer that question. The next car you're shopping for, how many years are you keeping it? How many years are you keeping it? And everybody tag one person, or I'm telling you, they're going to be mad at you. They're going to listen. If you don't think your friends are going to find out a year from now when they tell you, man, I made this stupid car deal and it is like I can't get out of it. And you say, man, you listen to this guy, Deshone, the auto advisor, and no, I don't know him. You got to go follow him. Oh, and then they find out you've been on these live shows and you ain't tag them, you ain't tell them, you ain't share the video with them. You might lose a friend. So tag one person that you care about. All right, 3 to 4 years. I see. Okay, nope, that's not the question, Celeste. You can't say depends on how many years it's going to hold up. When you set the amount of years as the goal, then everything after that is to make sure the vehicle you purchase will last that long. See, if you go in to purchase a vehicle and say, well, I hope if it lasts 8 years, if it lasts 10 years, I'll keep it that long. Chances are it won't. But if you say, you know what, I want to be a long-term person, I don't need to switch cars every 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. I could keep a car 8 years, 10 years. I'm fine with that. Then that means everything you do after that, I mean, you could use my process, because I'm going to make sure you buy a quality car that will last that long under your budget. But you have to set the goal. You must set the goal. So let's get out of the gray area and set the goal. Deshone, I'm not a long-term person. I only want to keep this car 6 years max. Perfect. All right. Let's go. 2 years. Okay. 2 years. That's going to be, it's not really any car that you can get that you can keep for 2 years and not lose money. You're losing too much value. You lose 20% the first year. The moment you buy it, you lose 20%. And then the next year, you're going to probably lose 15%. It's not many things in this world you can buy, lose 35% of what you paid for it, and then go and sell it. And that's the same way when you go out to year 3, year 4. That's why we say you don't sell a car or replace a car you bought until 8 years. Because anywhere before that, you're losing too much value compared to someone who's leasing. But 2 years, you got to find something that you can keep for at least 3, and then you lease. And here's what I'm going to tell you. When you shop, see, when y'all learn to shop without, you use what I'm telling you, you should be test driving new cars and leases, and no one's rushing you. You're in here, and look, we need to bring the people who are listening to me, you're going to have fun shopping for your new cars and your leases. You're going to have fun going into dealerships, test driving, knowing you're not buying in the dealership. So I'm here to test drive. and you can enjoy a weekend of test driving to decide what you want. It's a real fun experience when you go to one dealer Saturday morning and you test drive and you're like, okay, now let's go see that competitor car because we're trying to narrow it down to our top choices. And you're test driving and, hey, can we talk to you? Can we just show you the deals? No, no, thank you. Let me get your car. We got some other cars to drive. That's power. That's fun. That's like the kids. If the kids are with you, they'll enjoy that. You know what the kids don't enjoy? Daddy, you told us we were going to drive 3 cars today. Why are you spending all this time? You're sitting at the desk with the salesman. You don't know. My son, no, I'm making a deal. Daddy's trying to make a good deal. You ruined it. Even your kids could tell you that was wrong. This is wrong. Dad, we're supposed to be seeing what the family wants. That's shopping. So I want y'all to get in. When you get into that, you'll find something. All these cars out here, there's 40 some odd companies making cars. There's probably 500, 600 different choices. Every category, you got probably 10, 15 cars that would suit your needs. You get out and you drive some of them. You will find something that you actually love enough to lease it and keep it 3 years. The reason why people want to get rid of cars in a year because they rush their shopping process. They rush the shopping process, got the vehicle, find out, 3 months in, you know what, I don't really like this. You rush the shopping process. That's why step 4 of my book, I got a whole step. It's called shopping, not buying. Shopping, not buying. and we're not going to mix those two terms. Shopping is deciding what we want. Once we decide what we want, we come home and we buy it. Papa Bear, you with me? Okay. All right. Yeah, let's go. All right, let's keep the questions coming on YouTube and Facebook. All right, we're going through, we're bringing questions from every platform. So being pre-approved makes it easier for them to let you test drive. Look at that. That's a shame. Let you test drive? You kidding me? I'm here. In my book, I teach you how to call the dealership. Hey, my name is such and such. I teach you how to I like to ask for the best salesman there because that's the only time you're going to work with a salesman is on a test drive. Hey, do you have a such and such that I can come in and drive? Okay, perfect. When can I come in? Oh, okay. I'll see you then. That's it. I'm here to test drive. Anything else they took. Now, we don't do this with used cars. You cannot test drive a used car. This is for new cars and leases. Used cars, you're not going to test drive that car until you found your deal online. And that's the last step before you shake the person's hand and say, I'll take it. Because if other than that, you're going to waste a ton of time test driving cars that you end up not buying. But when it comes to new cars and leases, let us test drive. Please, we're about to make a $50,000 transaction. You owe me a test drive. So no, listen, you're dealing with the wrong people. And you could have called the wrong salesman. When I say you're dealing with the wrong people, you literally, it's the small things that matter. When we call for a test drive, we're asking for the best salesman there. Who's a salesman that everyone knows, everyone loves? Oh, that's Tom. Hey, Tom, how you doing? I'd like to come and test drive that Nissan Rogue. What days you there? Oh, I'll be here. All right, perfect. If you get the new dude on the block, little Nelson, who over there, and he don't care about lying or nothing, and yeah, he gonna make your life hard. We need bring your license, and we need to run your credit before test drive. These little details, I promise you, they matter. I've been on the inside. I seen little Nelson. Dude gets fired in 90 days. Little Nelson over there. What happened to Nelson? You knew he was going to get fired. But what's happening in that 90 days? Dude is doing damage. Dude is doing damage. All right. Bruno, YouTube said, I bought an Acura MDX 2020. I owe $27,000 in a loan. I got offers around 17, 18. What should I do with this negative equity? We talked about that earlier. Only thing you can do is you want a new car. Is you could, if those are your highest offers from CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, KBB Instant Cash Offer, those are the highest offers we're gonna get in most cases. So if you might say, okay, if you could pay the difference, that's the best way to go. So if there's like a $1,500 shortfall, you are much better off paying that $1,500 and getting out of that and doing a clean deal. Because if you can't do that, now that car has to be traded in with the dealer that you end up buying the car from. That's what has to happen. So That's the first route. If you can cover the difference, that's what you want to do. Shop for your car, get your best offer, and then just sell it to whoever made you the highest offer and pay the difference. And then you could do your other deal with no money down. So if it's a matter of, oh, I only got 1,500 and it's a $1,500 gap, I would pay off the negative equity and sell to a CarMax or sell to an auto all day long. It's going to make your life a million times easier and your transaction a million times easier. All right. My husband ran into something when we got our car service. Wait, you gotta do one full question. Unless y'all are talking amongst each other. I love that. Talk amongst each other. Y'all be in here having conversation. But if you're asking me a question, it has to be in one question. Look at Vicky. Vicky came on here and said never lease. Look, we got old Vicky on the line here. See, people come in and they're confidently incorrect. You got to be very, very careful, y'all. These people have cost you money for years. Vicky on Instagram, listen, you don't know enough. You don't realize how much you've cost your friend. Now, you might say, Deshone, Vicky might be saying, Deshone, I hear what you're saying about buying cars and keeping them 8 years. I'm not going to lease. I buy my cars and I drive them till the wheels fall off. And so, I'm never going to lease. Yep, you're good, Vicky. But what about your family? Yeah, what about your daughters? What about your sons? What about your husband? What about all these people who you're talking to and you just brought, oh, never lease. And they tell you, but Ma, I only want to keep my car like 3 years anyway. Don't lease it. You have no idea how many thousands you are costing them. And the sad part is you're not willing to learn. You learn from people who teach you to talk big, but you are what I call confidently incorrect. And that's a dangerous combination. All right, Corey, I want to lease a car. What are the most important things to consider? Multiple offers. Multiple offers. Listen, multiple offers are going to shock y'all. When y'all see how different these offers are. See, we don't have relationships. There's no relationships in what we do. I know if you used to go to the barbecue with your car salesman and he sold you 5 cars and he's been selling your family car for 30 years, he sold your father cars and your grandfather cars, and you just but that's going to change when you start making him bid for your business. I don't have a problem giving you the business, Charlie, but you need to bid. And if you win the bid, great. You need to earn the business. I'm not just giving you the business where you could just charge me whatever you think is fair. I'm going to shop the open market. And if you win, Charlie, you got our business. In fact, if your dealership really likes us, they can beat pretty much any offer if they want to. But what you're going to see sometimes is Charlie ain't going to beat the bid. Charlie might not even want to play your game. And you know what? If that's the way you want to be, then, our relationship is over. Well, Charlie, sorry to hear that. But I got to do what's best for my bank account. All right. Let's see. Confidently wrong. That's right. I'm from Harlem, right across the bridge. Do you have one-on-one consultation? I don't. No. I have a book. Anybody who wants the book, it's 75% off. It's a digital book, so it'll be in your inbox. You could use everything I teach from leasing, buying. Every strategy is in there. High mileage drivers, selling leases, the getting banks to bid for your business and credit unions. Everything's in there. Buying from home, my scripts, my template. I even link you to some of the videos in what I call a Cars from Home library, because I have a video version of my book. It's called the Cars from Home University Library. I link you to some of those videos for some subjects that might be a little more complex. I just say, hey, if you prefer to watch this 7-minute video, click here. So you'll be able to see that. And then I have, and I have some people that I coach, but I don't do one-on-ones because we can get results for groups. I don't have to do one-on-ones. Like, I help hundreds and hundreds of people buy cars at the same time. If I couldn't do that, then I wouldn't be doing it. Okay. Any suggestions on buying if paying cash? I just got the book. I was thinking I need to take a man to look at. Okay, no, you don't need to take a man. You will never need to take. Oh, listen, shout out to her for being honest. She was like, I was thinking I need to take a man to help me. Listen, when you use what's in that book, men will be calling you to do it for them. All right. Hold on. Coach Mikey, the name of the book is Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. 7 Steps to Saving Time, money and avoiding dealerships. Any suggestions if buying a new car for cash? Just get multiple offers. If you're buying a new car for cash, just get multiple offers. And also, don't think. Here's what I want you to understand. So, if you were taught always pay cash for cars, just type dollar signs. If some of you may have heard this, some of you may have not, but if you have heard you should always pay cash for cars, just type dollar signs into the comments. Okay? And I'm not telling you paying cash for cars is wrong. Paying cash for cars is right for some people. Okay, let me tell you who paying cash is right for based on who I've encountered. Very wealthy people, very well off to do people. I've talked to several people when I worked for General Motors and I worked for Mercedes. Y'all know I say it in all my videos: 5 years General Motors, 5 years in 5 years Mercedes Benz. And I would get these very wealthy people or very financially. They didn't even have to be wealthy. Some of them weren't wealthy, but they had paid off houses, and maybe they were, maybe they were in their 50s, paid off house, blue collar, but you could just tell that they were smart. They were investing and they could pay cash for the car. They'd be looking at like a Denali, $50,000 back then. Now they're 80. And they like, listen,